two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, bro?
I don't know. Been drinking vodka since 12 o'clock. Let's go.
That's good. Sarge's going on a trip, so that's why he's going to be. I don't know. It could be a temperature. It could be a little weird. He could be super chill, or he could be completely out off the wall.
Oh no, I'm pissed off about a lot of stuff.
So off the wall.
Not because of the vodka. Just I've heard enough. I've heard enough of the trolls and everything else. I've just had enough. I had enough.
So on today's show, we're going to be talking about Helldivers just launched today. We're going to talk about the review process or not review process and the problems they're having with the servers. We're going to talk about Suicide Squad. I've been playing that, and we're also going to talk about the problems with that going on right now. We're going to talk about the Xbox Microsoft thing that's happening. We'll find out more next week because that's when Phil Spencer's going to come out and talk about it. But Xbox fans and Sony fans are just all losing their mind this last 5 days, which is pretty funny. Disney, who's losing subscribers and money left and right, decided to toss $1.5 billion towards Epic to do something. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Final Fantasy 14 coming to Xbox Game Pass. That's right, you heard that correctly. It's coming to Game Pass. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. And I kind of want to include that with what's happening with Suicide Squad and see the difference of what the media does between games that people hate or don't care about and their Metacritic scores and whatnot, right? We're going to talk about Ubisoft Skull and Bones. The director comes out and says why it's $70 because this game was supposed to be $40 when it first got announced, but now it's $70, and they're going to tell you why or why they justify it. And then we're also going to talk about, I think that's about it. Yeah, that's all we got going on today. So that's what's on the show today. If you like what we do here, this is Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can watch us here on 30NSG. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. And yeah, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button, and if you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? So let's get to what we've been playing. All right. Another week down, Sarge. We're done with the first week in February. What have you been playing? What have you been playing?
Well, I was playing with my green screen. I broke that. So that's why you guys get to see the back of my room now.
Broke the green screen. What, did it pop out? The thing popped out? I
had enough. I had enough of it. It wouldn't lay flat, and I just got mad. And
I could just.
I have a backup one, so it doesn't matter.
I'm picturing you trying to.
Just mad,
trying to fold it, and then you're just and then you just chucked it. That's what I picture in my head. Am I close? Am I close?
I mean, you're close.
Okay.
I mean, I just
you take a machete out and start cutting it. All right. So last week you were playing some Fallout, and you were playing what's the other one that you're playing? Oh, Dune Spice Wars is what you were playing. Are you continuing playing that?
No. I was playing Fallout London.
Oh, that's right. You were playing Fallout London last week. That's correct.
Yep. I want to put this out here. I don't want to start a war. I've played enough of Starfield, right? And so I restarted.
I brought up Starfield. Someone's gonna bring up Spider-Man now.
I'm sure they will. I restarted a Fallout 4 game, right? And I was playing through Fallout 4, And as I was playing through it, I was kind of doing the compare contrast thing. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is good, that's not good. This is good, that's not good. Right, when I compared to Starfield, this is good, not so good. And I got to say, game for game,
Both Bethesda games.
both Bethesda games,
Okay.
the actual game depth and what you're talking about the lore of the game and try to get people invested inside that universe.
Mhm.
There's no contest. Fallout 4 is way more
What-
deep
all right.
than Starfield is.
Well, then, okay.
Now,
I want to ask a question though.
I'm not saying I hate Starfield. What I'm saying is that it's okay for people to try something new based off of what they did in the past, and whether or not they can over or supersede the accomplishments of the older game to the newer game is not written in stone. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, right? Every game you come out with is not going to beat the last game you made, but you are willing to try something new in order to try to do that. And Bethesda did that.
Well, I have a question. Okay, so they took over Fallout from the original guys, right? And they did 3 and 4. Okay. So Fallout 3 is technically their first Fallout, and then Fallout 4 was a sequel to that. And then Skyrim is the sequel to Oblivion and Morrowind, and then there's Skyrim. Okay. So my question is, the comparison of Starfield compared to Fallout 4, would you say that Fallout 3 is better than Starfield? Or is, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because Fallout 3 is their first attempt at Fallout, right? So is Fallout 4 in your eyes better than Fallout 3?
Well, if you want me to try to explain it that way, then I'll do it as basic as I can. Right? So 3 was the starting point. Is 4 better than 3? Yes.
Okay.
Is Starfield better than 4?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
No. The answer would be yes in certain aspects, but not as an all-encompassing.
The reason I'm bringing it up though is that this is Starfield and this is their first one. This would be the I forget Oblivion. No, Morrowind. Morrowind came first, right? Morrowind, Oblivion, then Skyrim. Correct? Or is it Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim? My brain's chat. Help us out here. All right, I think it's Morrowind first.
All right. Well, let's
so what? Wait, hold on. Basically, what I'm saying is Starfield's their first attempt at this sci-fi genre of their canon world, whatever, right? Fallout 3 was their post-apocalyptic, and the Elder Scrolls series, I'll just put, that was their first attempt, and it got better as it went. Fallout got better as it went. As Starfield coming out, do you think that the next Starfield or the continuation of Starfield, it'll get better as they go? It was Morrowind, right? Thank you.
All right, so I'm biased in certain.
That's true. Daggerfall came before Morrowind. Thank you.
I'm biased in certain aspects. The issue that I have is that they didn't put in what they learned from the past and then try to do something better. What they did was to try to do something better and put in pieces of the things from the past.
What they've learned from the past.
Now, you can say good, bad, or indifferent, but when you, how do I explain this? When you achieve something in a video game that most people enjoy, I'm not saying that it's a win across the board, but it's something that you're known for.
Right. It's that magic that you capture.
Yeah. Like you known for, like, now we're making settlements. Like, maybe you don't like Sims. Maybe you don't like to build your own towns. That's completely cool, right? But that's something they chose to do. So once you put in that I'm making my own town, people come to my town, I tell them the jobs that they have, and I'm building because I'm trying to build back from Oblivion. Like, the world is dead, and like I saved it, and then I'm the guy who tries to get people to build towns back, and like we try to rebuild society is the mentality you have, right? So once you give me the taste of that, and then the next game you have is open, empty space, which is fact,
right?
Because that's what space is
I don't know.
Open and empty.
I've never been there, so I've never been there.
Right? It's open and empty, right? But once you establish that and you say, hey, you can make your own kind of like they threw it in. You could just make your own kind of place. So you can make your own like little factory thing. And I'm like, hang on. So what you're saying is Earth is dead. We had to move someplace else, and we have to survive from nothing. So you gave me that premise.
Right, so basically, you gave me Fallout.
Right? You
in space.
You almost gave me Fallout, right?
You almost gave me Fallout in space.
But then you tell me you're not building towns. Don't worry about it.
Right. They took something away. They took something away from.
So people who know what the game's about, like what you do in the game, like so you put in the fact that I can make factories and like I can make industry, but I can't make towns.
Right. You can't make a settlement.
Even though the people of Earth are scattered and are looking for unity.
The outpost, though,
that's what you tell me.
But the outpost is like a settlement, right? Because you can have workers that were there, and you can make different outposts and put the workers there so they can operate it and whatnot. So it's sort of like it, but it's not the same.
I don't want to go down this road. All I'm saying is I understand why people don't like Starfield. I get it, right? And if you look at it right now,
do they not like it because it's not Fallout, it's not Skyrim?
No.
Or like Suicide Squad's not Batman?
If you're looking at it, well, you can use that comparison if you want to a little bit later. But like right now, they're talking about releasing they're talking about releasing Starfield on PlayStation, and I laugh because two things are true here, right? That Bethesda was in trouble when they were going to release Starfield. They were taking a chance, and they knew it might not succeed as well as they thought. So the buyout of Microsoft gave them the leverage that they needed, that they no longer had to wait or figure out whether or not that game was going to be successful or not, because Microsoft factored in what that game was going to be, maybe yes or no, into the buyout price of the company.
Sure.
So you got that money. Right,
well,
you
Bethesda
got that money.
Yeah, Bethesda got that money.
Right, Bethesda got that money. We don't know if they got money to be on Game Pass on top of it, or because that they were part of.
Well, no, because now they're own
they're
Microsoft.
just in Game Pass. Right.
They just got thrown
on there. The point being is they no longer had to worry, which is why you never had to worry about sales. Which is why you never had to worry about the discussion about whether or not people were playing it or not, because that no longer mattered.
Yeah, well, it took a big chunk off their shoulders, right? Because at that point, even though they were before Microsoft stepped in, again, we're kind of speculating. There's no proof of what we're saying, but basically, we're just kind of thinking about what they did. So because they got bought out by Microsoft, they didn't have to make both platforms to sell to make that money. They already got the money up front. They were already successful. They were already successful at the start. Because they got bought out, they made their money.
Yep.
Bethesda and ZeniMax. Now Microsoft put it on there to use them as the lead of the Game Pass on the consoles, on the box, to try to make that money back, which
that's right.
Speculatively they have done.
Right. But now they're going to release it on PlayStation because
we don't know that.
Because they're trying to recoup the money
that
they gave Bethesda up front.
Of course. Well, I've said this in the past before they got bought out. I said it's going to be decided case by case scenario, and I said I think Starfield does come to other parties around a year to year and a half afterwards, right? I don't think it's a big deal if it comes to PlayStation 5 because if you already bought Starfield or played Starfield on PC or played it on Game Pass, you played it, and now the people that didn't try it out there, they could play it.
That's correct. Right. The people that have not tried it now have an option to play it.
Right, and they can also add to the people's review process. Now, even though we're not, in that section yet, I think it'll be very funny to see if all of a sudden the Metacritic score of Starfield starts to go up because now if it does get released on PlayStation.
You better pray that when Starfield is released on PlayStation, that the Metacritic score doesn't go up.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, I got you.
When it's released on, say, PlayStation, you better pray that the Metacritic score doesn't go up because it
better go down, right? It better go down
because if the Metacritic score goes up after Starfield is released on PlayStation, there's a whole lot of hypocrites that
that's
a ton of remorse.
Right, all turn. Yeah, it could go either way. I'm just saying it would be funny though. It would be funny that all of a sudden it starts to go up. You'd be like, oh, there was the hate. The hate wasn't on the game. The hate was on the game that was on the platform.
Just on the game,
right on the platform. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
So what other games? What other games do you play? You were just playing. You went back and played Fallout 4.
This last week's been rough. I haven't played a lot of stuff. I haven't even tried out the new stuff for Division at all.
Yeah, well, we'll play that. We'll play that probably in 2 weeks because next week you come back and it's past.
Yeah, next
week is
rough.
gone. Yeah, it's gone.
Next week
so we'll play it in like
Valentine's
2
week.
weeks and try it out.
It
looks interesting. Me and you are both going to be pissed off about it. I can tell you already because all you're doing is going back to New York now, and you're not going after any manhunts. You're just going around doing investigations around certain region, like areas.
When you say investigation, all that means is visit a zone.
Right, visit a zone, find some clues, and then kill somebody. But the killing somebody is not the main part. It's finding the clues.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever keeps you vested.
Yeah, I'm playing Suicide Squad. That's all I played from last week. We played it before the show last week, and I played it a lot more afterwards. I'm well over 70 hours now. I'm like 74, 75 hours in to the game. I'm absolutely enjoying it. It's the greatest game right now to shit on. Everyone loves to shit on it, but at the same time, there's some people that are giving reviews that are like, yeah, I'm playing it, but I don't really like it, but I can't stop playing it, so I'm going to keep playing it, but I can't stop playing it, but I don't really like it. I don't really know how the end game works, but I just can't put it down, right? So they've done something well with this game. It's got a nice little loop to it. And again, I've been talking about this on my morning streams. If you take Suicide Squad and made it Super Squad, and it wasn't called Suicide Squad, and it wasn't part of DC, I think people look at this game completely different. But because
you had a bunch of trolls earlier today, bro, talking about Suicide Squad. Just a bunch of trolls.
It wasn't a bunch of trolls. It was just one.
Talking about shit that you don't even know because you didn't even play the game.
That's most of the people on the internet right now.
And then complaining about shit that you know nothing about and trying to make an.
But I watched the cutscenes, Sarge. I watched the cutscenes all up on YouTube. I saw all the things that. Right, there's so much context missing from the cutscenes because there's banter that goes on between the cutscenes while they're playing the game. But regardless,
irrelevant.
I'm absolutely 100% love what the loop is in the end game. Okay, and I understand people are like, "Oh, you're doing the same things over and over." Yeah,
that's a video game.
That's exactly what the video game is.
That's a video game.
Make sure you're not. Make sure you're not playing. Yeah, make sure you're not playing Madden where you're doing a run play to the left and then a run play to the left and then a pass play.
What else can you tell me about except that video games are repetitive?
Yeah,
games are repetitive. Are you saying that they didn't trick you enough into the repetitiveness that you actually know you're playing a repetitive game, or are you saying that because it's just not the type of repetitive that you like? But all video games are repetitive. So which is it?
Right. Well, and then people are complaining about the story. But then if they paid attention to the actual story, right? Because people were upset last week, Sarge, because we could talk about it a little bit more now because it's been almost a week. The leaks and stuff are out there already. But because Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, and people were like, you're disrespecting the characters of the game and blah, 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 blah.
I already went over that last week.
Right. And then all of a sudden, now people are putting pieces together in the story, and they're like, well, now they might be coming back, and they're not actually dead. We didn't actually fight the actual Justice League. And it's like, oh, now you're coming around to the actual, what was the story? Maybe I thought you guys watched the cutscenes. I thought you guys knew what was going on in the story, right? So the game does very good, well with the end game, the loop, the gear. Like you could play the game, stop playing the game, and come back next season. If you're a person that likes the end game loop, which I was a person that was just playing this game for the story, and I was going to put it down. I was like, if the end game's good, I'll keep playing, but it's the icing on the cake. Well, I like the icing now. The icing is actually pretty good. The loop of going to get these weapons to make your builds, okay, which then goes into more of a top story type of thing, where what's happening to Suicide Squad right now is I made a video 2 days ago, okay, talking about how Suicide Squad, before I do that, let's go to the top stories. We'll do the top stories. Okay, so still talking about Suicide Squads, right? I'm enjoying Suicide Squads. I'm playing a lot of Suicide Squads. The process right now of Suicide Squads right now on Metacritic, okay, is 59%. 59% with a user score of 3.8%, okay, which is it's trash. Okay. But on Steam, see, and this is what I love, right? Because if Steam's numbers are low, lots of YouTubers and people like to use Steam as the example of, well, Steam likes it, so everything else is garbage, right? And then when Metacritic is the high point, they're like, oh, see, this is it. So it all depends what they want to use. Metacritic is low, so YouTubers and content creators and avenues out there for journalists, right? Journalists out there, okay? They use whatever the lower score is now because they want to shit on the actual game. On Steam, very positive, right? 4,267 people, very positive. 794 people, not positive, right? Then we have suicides.
That's over like 4-1, 5-1.
Right. But then they'll use the other Metacritic score, which is 59 out of 64 journalist reviews. Okay. And the general favorability, okay, based on 1,156 users is 3.8. Okay. So it's pretty low for the Metacritic side. Now, obviously, everyone's talking about Suicide Squad. If it's good or bad, people are talking about it. I want to make a comparison.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, how come we're not talking about Avatar?
Well, I was just going to bring that up, right? So Avatar just came out in November, late November, early December. This is not shitting on Avatar in any way, shape, or form, right? Yep. Avatar mixed or average score, 86 critic reviews. They scored that as 72, and they didn't like that game, right? They didn't like that game. They hate Suicide Squad, the critics, but they didn't like Avatar. But no one's talking about Avatar. Nobody's talking about Avatar. Avatar came and went. No one's talking about Avatar.
No one gives a shit.
Suicide Squad, much shittier game.
Big clickbait.
Much shittier game based on the journalists' opinions. Okay. Yes. And they write an article every single day, multiple articles
every day,
right? YouTube videos, clicks. They got to talk about it because
if you don't see it, if you don't see what they do, I can no longer help you as a human being.
Right?
If you don't see how people treat one game as opposed to another when they don't like it, here's even the better part. It's not that they didn't like Avatar. It's that Avatar wouldn't cause clicks, so nobody cares about Avatar.
Right. Well, no, Avatar's not a live. Avatar's not a live service game.
Doesn't matter.
Right. We're not talking about the live service or not. We're just talking about a game, a good game, a bad game, or whatever kind of game. Right.
It doesn't cause clicks. Avatar does not cause clicks.
Right.
Killing heroes and using the word Suicide Squad creates a lot of clicks.
A lot of clicks.
That's the game. That's the game.
Right. 6 more movies, dude, coming out. Don't worry. James Cameron's working on 6 and 7 right now as we speak. Okay. So now I want to take that same energy level of people that IGN hated. They despised Suicide Squad and Rocksteady because it wasn't the Batman game they wanted. Okay. They didn't get a review code. There was no review codes handed out to IGN, and they made sure everyone knew we're not getting a review code. We didn't get one. We're not getting one. Our review's going to be late. Today, Helldivers 2 came out. Okay, Helldivers 2 came out. I'm still checking. I haven't seen a review yet from IGN. Okay. Now, the reason I bring this up, this is not to shit on Helldivers 2. I actually watched it. Looks pretty fun. I actually am interested in it. I want to pick it up. I just don't have time right now to play it. But, okay, Helldivers 2 is a live service game. Suicide Squad is a live service game.
Let's make sure we're not using word salad, right? Is it a live service?
It's a live service game,
or is it a game that's finished? It's still DLCs coming with later.
No, it's a live service game. Okay. 100% live service game. Okay. So Helldivers 2 is a live service game. IGN did not have a review out yet. Now,
what a shame.
Now the previewer, I think Travis, I forget his last name. He played it early last week, 6 days ago, and had his last preview of what it was, but he doesn't have a review out yet. I don't know if he's doing the review or someone else is doing the review, but I'm not talking about the individual, I'm talking about the company, right? Where's the articles of Helldivers didn't give review codes in time for us to review the game when it launches, before the launch of the game? Where's those articles? I don't see those articles. Okay.
Well, probably not necessary.
Right now, somebody is going to come out and say, "Well, it's different." 30. Helldivers is only a $40 game, and
it's very different.
And Suicide Squad is a $70 AAA game.
and we can't market it. That's basically what it is.
That's right. Okay.
We can't market the hate on Helldivers, but we can certainly market the hate on Suicide Squad with Heroes. It's just how it is.
All right. Great game, probably, but they need to fix the PC version. Oh, for Helldivers? We'll get to that in a second, Taco. We'll get that in a second, right? So I don't care if you like a game or dislike a game, but when I look at the journalists out there, okay, I want them to have the same energy across the board, okay? I want them to tell me about a game, tell me about the game, and not shit on a game, right? I don't care if you're a fan or not a fan. I just want you to be straight shooter across the board, across all games, right? If there's server issues on this game and server issues on this game, I want you to write articles on both the problems. If one's good and one's bad, I want you to tell us what's good and what's bad and what's good and what's bad, but not based on what it's not. And everything that Suicide Squad was being shit on for was everything.
It's not a Batman game. It's not a Batman game.
It's not a Batman game.
That's all I've heard.
Right.
That's all I've heard.
It's not the Justice League game we wanted and stuff like that.
Here's how you know. Like, and by the way, I'm not promoting Suicide Squad, by the way, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't play it.
Sure.
All I did was watch it. All I did was watch a bunch of people play it. I'm not shilling for anyone, but I'm gonna say this: if the game is that bad, then you've got to have something better than it's not a Batman game and it's repetitive.
So apparently,
if those are the pillars
right
that you're using, that the game is bad, then I question your authenticity on whether or not you can review a game.
Correct.
Are you reviewing the game for itself, or are you reviewing the game because it's not a Batman game?
Well, and then also the public, the way they look at stuff, if it's on Steam and it has a very positive review, they're like, see, it's positive review. It doesn't matter. This game that everyone wants to shit on has a very positive review on Steam, but they're like, no. Did you see the Metacritic score? Did you see the Metacritic score?
Because if the Steam score doesn't
goalposts, let's move.
You move to the team that agrees with you better. That's how it works.
Now,
yes,
I do want to talk about Suicide Squads a little bit more because I made a video talking about how there's a couple problems I have with Suicide Squad, and the major one is the servers are crashing left and right. Okay, error messages all over the place. And I got it in New Zealand on Monday last week. Okay, so it's been a complete 10 days, 11 days since I've been playing. It launched on Friday. Okay, it launched on Friday. And when it launched on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nobody said anything. Servers, issues, problems.
Nobody from the development
team said anything. They said, congratulations,
people
it launched.
A ton of stuff.
Oh, sure. The development team said nothing. Friday, they said, hey, it launched. Have fun, blah, blah, blah. That was the last thing they said. Okay. Now, I have a tweet, okay, which is from the community manager, okay? And it says, we found a fix or an issue for burning scaling incorrectly. And we'll be testing this over the next few days, and it looked to get implemented soon. Let me bring this up on screen for you guys, okay? We also been posting an update from the game director soon with more thoughts and explanations on how we're fixing it, and as well, we'll plan to address the high mastery level difficulty scaling. Now, I just want to read a little bit more down, okay? People are saying, any news on when we can expect some sort of patch? We're still not able to matchmake with anyone, use loadouts, or even access mastery ranks, okay? I think fixing the fire scaling issue sounds like it should be the last thing that the team should be worried about on the whole game is on fire, okay? And then he says, no update. When to expect the patch yet. Now, the fix for the burn is being worked on, along with many other bug fixes, and we're looking to solve. But he doesn't address the actual drops of the error codes or anything like that. He continues by saying, I appreciate your frustration, though, and we provide an update on these issues when we have one. Someone else says, once again, thanks for the communication. I sent a support ticket on the affliction immunity on enemies, and now the gameplay is built experience. Any word on that? This is something we were keeping an eye on. Thanks for your feedback. It says, this is also coming around the same time. Would suck to lose the potency of Diablo Blaze, which is the health scaling, to match it. More details soon. Yeah, I feel like this is important, but not as important as the server stability and stuttering. Well, we'll share updates for other bug fixes and server importance soon. Now, kudos for them to actually say something, but 6 days into the actual, launch of the game, there was people that bought this game, Sarge, for $100. Okay, could not play it.
All I'm hearing is Battlefield all over again.
Right,
Go ahead.
could not play it. Okay, No one says anything to them. They finally got to play yesterday. They're fixing like individual things, but they're not doing a mass fix yet. This is terrible. Any company, this is not just Suicide Squad. This is anyone that doesn't start to talk about the issues right away and letting people just suffer. They're like, I can't call customer service. No one's getting back to me. I can't play the game. The stuttering. I'm losing gear. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, right? Now, here's something that just happened today. Okay. Now, this is the post that today that they're doing. But Helldivers, okay? Helldivers just came out today. Just today. Helldivers CEO addresses the launch issues and crisis mode. Okay. Helldivers was released today on PlayStation 5 and PC, but quickly succumbed to a series of launch issues, including problems with matchmaking connecting to the game's servers. There are also widespread reports of crashing issues with cross-play mechanics and blocking players from connecting with their friends across the digital border between PlayStation 5 and PC platform. In response, the CEO of Arrowhead Games, Jonathan Pelstidi, took to the game's official Discord server to offer an apology and an explanation. Do you see the difference? Now, this is a company that's not a AAA company, right? This is not Rocksteady, who came out with the greatest Batman games of all time and whatnot. 6 days, 10 days for people that actually bought the early access version of Suicide Squad. Nothing was said. Nothing was said publicly about the stuttering or the server issues or why you can't log in or anything like that. Helldivers, small independent studio, comes out the day, hours after the game launched and said, hold up, guys. We know there's a problem. We appreciate your time. We're fixing it. We're getting on it. We're letting you know. Like, they're letting people know. He says, hey, everybody, it's been a bit of crisis mode here in the studio today. Therefore, I have not been as active as I would like to have been. Okay. We're seeing the matchmaking issues as well as some of the unfortunate stuck in the login screens and crashes. I just wanted to let you know we're working as hard as we can to resolve these issues and volume players exposed and some shenanigans in the system that went past many, many, many hours of testing. Okay, or testing. We have tried resolving it in the back end, and we seems like this is have a patch of the game resolved with issues. Sorry for this, and thank you for your patience. For now, I recommend the team up with the people from the community as joining friends work fine. I hope you're enjoying the experience once you get in the game. Now, I'll tell you what. I don't own this game right now, but because not the community manager, the literally lead of the fucking studio came out and said, my apologies, here it is. Then they had another problem. Okay, and they came out on Twitter just a couple of hours ago, okay, and said, hey, everyone, Mikhail here again. I want to give an update on the issues that we're experiencing today. I'm happy to say that we're now improved matchmaking and the most frequent crashes. Let me explain where we're at, okay? We made a patch that we're about to start playing alongside you to check the works as intended, okay? If it's successful, we'll trigger a hotfix and get out on Steam community first. Then roll out to the PlayStation 5 players as quickly as we can. And thank you for their patience. And we really want to have you a blast playing the game. Bear with us. We're almost here. Okay. Do you see the difference of the response time of people? And I can tell this director cares. Okay. Now I'm having fun with Suicide Squad. And I haven't had a problem except for the stuttering in the servers. And I can't make matchmaking anymore. Okay. But it's been 2 days now. 3 days now that I try to go in to play with friends and I get disconnected. This dude comes out, okay? This dude comes out and says, what everyone, take note, industry, okay? The studio behind Helldivers 2 responded within hours of problems, not days or weeks, and it wasn't the community manager, it was literally the owner of the company, okay? Of the studio coming out to let people know, this is what needs to happen. This goes a long way. I want to buy this game right now. With all its problems right now, with the servers and stuff, I want to buy this game right now because this person behind this account, behind this game, is very passionate, and I can tell. Okay? Where the other people kind of just, we'll get to it.
I'm going to push back on this because I've been alive too long. Right? The reason why Rocksteady didn't come out right away is because they have enough clout where they can decide what's going to happen right now and decide what to say before they say it and then tell you. Whereas another studio who has no clout has to talk immediately in order to maintain some sense of credibility.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to toss that game to the side and not worry about it. Now, I'm not saying that Rocksteady is less of a development team than the people who are making.
They're probably a great studio,
Helldivers,
but they're
right?
dropping the ball big time. Dropping the ball big time.
But at this point in time, bro, it's not about dropping the ball. A development team
6 days?
test their game ahead of time. And I'm trying to side with them in this, because if you prove me wrong and they don't test it, then you're just proving my point. So I'm going to just say that they test their game. And if they don't test their game, then they know certain things aren't going to work, and you have to roll with the punch, right? I go back on this all the time, right? And I know it sounds like I'm harping it and I'm the old guy in the room, right? But when you are making a product and you're a business, when you release a product into the community or into the actual market, you make sure the product is working as intended in order to encapsulate as much revenue as possible, right? Because you have to. Because it's a physical product. It goes on a shelf. It has to be shipped. It has to work. It has to be sold by a salesman. They have to make money too. So the entire train of thought when I make a product is it's supposed to do what it does. But we erase that when we make it a digital product, and it no longer factors in that the product has to work when the product is sold. Now it's, well, the product's out there and we're sorry it doesn't work, and we're listening to you.
But they didn't even say anything.
But we'll get to you when we figure out what's supposed to be fixed and how to fix it. Like, there's a difference in how people approach their market.
Communication is key with these things. I don't care what game it was. I don't care if it's Cyberpunk or 2042 or whatever other game came out broken, buggy, and unfinished when it came out, or had server issues. The difference between Suicide Squad, which I'm loving playing, and
talking
is no, they didn't say anything. Nothing was told. I can't log into my game. No one. I can't get a refund because I went over the 2 hours, right? And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about people out there that had this problem, right?
And that's
lists
why
of
you
just
don't have
problems
to
and problems and problems, and they don't come out and say, "We hear you." They don't communicate. They didn't say anything for 6 days. 6 days. Meanwhile, Helldivers Studio, within 6 hours, 6 hours, they were out there, and they made 2 updates since then.
One company needs to have your support, and the other company knows that it no longer has to worry about giving out refunds. It just has to fix the problem. So in their mind, because they are who they are, there's no reason to talk until they have the fix. And the reason why you'll accept that is because, well, it's Rocksteady. They know what they're doing. Like, there's a difference. When you don't have public support, you have to immediately attend to the wound. You have to call the hospital, you call the medic, you make sure there's hospital supplies, you bandage the wound, and then you call the media and tell everybody that you're bandaging the wound, right? But when you're a company that has been around and knows what they're doing, if shit's going wrong, you're like, well, we'll tell them when we know the answer to it, because you have that ability to not say anything until you're ready because you believe in the company, right? Otherwise, wouldn't the marketing director of all these companies and people who are going to be sued for malpractice or incorrect product or whatever title you want to put on selling a crappy product, right? Like, you would be told, this is how you have to handle it. If it doesn't work, this is what you do. If it doesn't happen, this is what you say. If it doesn't do this, then this is your answer. There's a fucking textbook that tells them what to say. You have a company who is doing the best that they can. They release the game. They know it's broke. They have to know. You can't say that they don't. They choose not to say something.
And that's an L.
Until they have an answer.
This is a live.
You can look at this 2 different ways.
This is a live service game.
You're looking for someone to say, "Oh, we're sorry it's not broke. We're sorry that it's not working correctly. We're looking into it. Don't worry." Their side of the fence is, well, we know it's broke. When we have something fixed, we'll let them know. Like, it's the same answer. Right? You think they don't know?
That's fine. No, they do know.
Like, you think they do know? But they know they know.
Absolutely, they know. But you better fucking say something. You better come out and say, hey, we know the servers are broke. We apologize. We're working on it. If this game was a single-player game and you didn't need to be online, no problem. No problem. Because you could continue playing that game and it wouldn't affect you in any way, shape, or form. But because they chose to make this a live service game online all the time, with the offline mode coming sometime later this year, okay, they better speak up and tell us that People paid $100 for this thing. They didn't pay $40 like at Helldivers. They paid $100 for this game, and they could not play the game.
Nobody forced you.
No one's forcing anybody to do anything. You still paid for your money, and you can't get your money back because 5 hours in, I'm playing the game, and all of a sudden now server errors, and I can't get back on the game for a week.
You are deciding to take the stance that because the product doesn't work when it was supposed to work as intended during the time frame that was allowed, you're mad. Right. And you and I both have had the conversation over and over again, especially with live service games, that why do you buy shit the day it comes out?
I know why I buy shit.
These things might happen.
Sure.
Right? Nothing's perfect. You gotta pick one side or the other. Either you know that these things might have problems, and so you're willing to risk the fact that you're gonna buy something that might not work.
That's not my complaint. That's not my complaint.
Or you wait until things are straightened out and then you buy the game.
That's not my complaint. My complaint is, look, as a content creator on YouTube, I'm buying stuff early so I can show people what the game is, have questions, show them the problems, speak like I'm doing right now. See, I'm communicating where they're not communicating, okay? I'm asking for a company that's making a product, putting a product out there that is broke, where you can't play their product. Don't put a release date on it.
Procedure.
Right? You need to come out and say, we understand there's problems, bear with us. I'm not asking for apology with free coins or anything like that. They have to acknowledge out loud to the public, because look, how frustrated, Sarge, do you get if you have a problem with your internet and you pick up the phone and you call your provider and no one picks up? You got to press 0 and then press 1, and then you got to call somebody and you get on the thing, and then it's another voicemail, and then it's another robot. No one will call you back. Fuck you. Pick up the phone and let me talk to somebody.
Right, very traumatic.
This is the exact same thing. These people need to communicate, and they say, oh, check the Discord. Great. I checked the Discord. Nothing on the Discord since the first. Okay?
They're not going to answer you until they have an answer. There are different ways.
They have to respond.
There are different ways to handle a crisis.
There's a triage. There needs to be a triage.
Yeah, well, I got news for you. When you're in triage, all you're trying to do is save everybody.
That's correct.
In any way possible.
You're just going, we'll be right with you. Here's a bandage. You're bleeding out. Nope. Hold that. Go to the next person.
You don't tell people how you're saving them. You save them in any way they can.
Correct.
When you have an answer to the problem, an actual answer to the problem, you then address the people that you want to talk to and say, this is the issue. This is how we resolved it. They don't know the answer, so they don't say anything. They know it's broke. Nobody's walking around
when your house,
they don't know it's broke.
Well, when your house when your house is on fire, okay, you got to put water on. You just don't let it burn.
Yeah, but I got news for you, buddy. Your hose on the side of your house ain't doing anything.
Doesn't matter.
You can spray that water all you want. If you make it look like you're doing something, but it ain't doing nothing.
If it's a small little fire, your hose is going to put that out. But if it's a giant blaze, you just back away and let the fucker burn. Okay, because you're not going to do anything to it until the fire department gets there.
Listen, I know people are upset because they can't play their game. But once again, if you read all the little words on the screen when you say, okay, I'm ready to play, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can read there that talks about exactly what this is. Not responsible. Things may not be what they are. We address
objects in the mirror might be closer than right.
There's a whole bunch of shit that you guys just hit the okay button to keep on playing your game, but you don't actually read it. And don't tell me you've read it, because you've never read it. Okay? So when a game comes out and it doesn't work as intended, all they can do is work through the process and get it to work. My concern on your level is the fact that you would actually discuss, and this is where I agree with you, where they discuss nerfing a build
before server stability,
because they know about it and they don't want people to think that it's the only build that works, but they don't address the elephant in the room.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That part I agree with.
That's the whole conversation. Your fucking stability of matchmaking and server stability is going to shit, and you're like, we got it. We're adjusting the burn. Don't worry, we're going to nerf it. Like, that's fantastic. You're fixing a thing that's in the game, but I can't get into the goddamn game to even use the fucking build.
But
Dark
that
Taco,
kind
thank you
of-
much for the 5 gifted memberships, man. Appreciate that.
But that kind of response tells you exactly the mindset of where they are. Right? That's the difference. I don't know how many times a game can release in this type of fashion before the actual community understands what the actual give and take is when you buy something day one that is called a live service. I don't know how many times it has to be told to you or written to you or given to a disclaimer for. You want what you want. I get it. Cry tears that you didn't get the game that you paid for on the day you wanted it. However, they already have you. They already have your money. You're not getting a refund. So your two options are
Absolutely.
shut the fuck up and wait for it to be fixed.
That's exactly
or
right.
Stop playing the game.
Look,
so I don't know which one you think is correct.
Which
one do you think is correct?
The answer is, one, if you're a person that can't play the game, you can't play the game, right? So you have to go play something else, right? And then their problem is the current player base is not playing it because they want to play it. 2, they can't play it because the server stability is there. And by the time they get back into play it, the build that they were going to go for is no longer there. Right? Let me answer the question real fast in chat. Creature says, when did we lose faith in Rocksteady? I didn't lose faith in Rocksteady. That's not what this conversation's about.
Oh, no, it's not Rocksteady, Creature. It's just the industry.
Right. The question is not losing faith in Rocksteady.
Let's be fair.
Right?
Not Rocksteady.
The context of this conversation
just
is
the industry.
2 different companies have issues with their servers. One responds correctly. One responds dramatically bad. Okay? There's no issue what I have personally with Rocksteady. It's the industry of what's right and what's wrong. And the right way to do it is to tell people, hey, we hear that there's server issues and we're doing this. This one's like, yeah, we know there's server issues, but we didn't tell you that there's server issues, but we're nerfing the thing that you can't get past the master level 60, which is the 1% of the 1%ers that are having issues where the scaling of the burn effect that's happening in the late end game. Okay.
Well, they care about the hardcore people, bro. At least you can say that. They care about the people who are playing their game hardcore.
But that's the only people playing. Jesus. Anyway. The conversation is not shitting on Rocksteady. The conversation is about the industry as a whole, like responding and going, hey, we hear you. We're fixing it. They didn't do it. 6 days. 6 days. Right? And if any of you are out there that had a problem where you couldn't play your game and you weren't answered in 6 days, you are all fucking lying if you don't think you're going to be disgruntled and yelling. Right? Well, I didn't have this happen to me. The stuttering's happening to me, but I could play the game.
I got news for you. If they know, and I'm pretty sure they know because they get the number of people that are calling in saying that their game's not working. If the number of people that call in and say the game is not working is under a certain percentage,
I could scroll.
Then
tons of people.
Then your complaint falls on deaf ears because they're not concerned. If the number was in crisis level and they know that hundreds of thousands of people can't play the game, they'd be like, oh my God, we are totally listening to you, bro. And we're going to fix the problem. Don't worry about it. But if it's like 3% or 4% of total people who are playing the game, when we have an answer, we'll let you know.
So what you're telling me,
this works.
What you're telling me, Sarge,
that's how this works.
So you're telling me the amount of people that are playing the game right now, a bigger percentage is using the burn technique more than the people that have problems with the server.
If that's their concern, that they acknowledge to you,
based on what
the answer is yes.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is that because the problem with the burn over people playing in the 60 level master level is higher than the people that can't connect to the actual game.
The people that are abusing the burn thing, the percentage wise is higher
than the people that can't connect.
That are not connected. That's correct.
Yeah. Here's another thing. I know why the server stutter is happening, right? At least this is my theory. Okay.
Because all the servers are in Ukraine.
No.
That's why you have to send them money. We found out the answer, guys.
There is an XP farm in the game that people are using. Okay.
Oh my God, with the burn method?
Nope. It's not even the burn method. So there's an XP farm that's happening in the game right now where it's basically shooting like into the cave of Destiny. Okay. So there's a mission that you can go use Gizmo's car. Okay. Now, if you already did this, you can't do it anymore because you've beaten that level. But if you still have this mission, people are just rotating and shooting down because there's these tanks that spawn in one spot. Okay, they just keep spawning in that one spot, and people just keep shooting the tanks, and just loot is exploding everywhere. It's exactly the same as the loot cave. It's a loot cave. Okay? But what's happening is the game is locking up after so much because there's so much shit on the screen. And people are scaling, people are leveling up their entire squad talent tree, which is the Paragon's tree. They're leveling up the entire thing within hours. Okay. Well, more and more people are doing this because people made YouTube videos of it and they know how to do it, right? And now I'm adding to it because I've told people how to do it, right? I haven't done it. Okay, but people are doing it, and I think so many people are doing it, I think that is the reason that it's happening. I think because the servers are getting distrained because so many people are doing the XP farm that it's fucking up the servers for everybody.
I mean, it's possible. But I know I used to work in the corporate world before I realized that I didn't want to sell my soul anymore. And I know how they think. They follow a book. They follow a textbook and they follow some kind of protocol. They don't think about human behavior in that point. They think about human behavior on how you're going to spend money and how people get people to keep being addicted. That part they count. But to answer questions and how people react to problems in the game, they follow a textbook. They have papers.
Of course. Yeah.
If they say A, you say 1. If they say B, you say 2. Like there's an answer for everything. It's like one of those sales calls you have. They know, right? They know. Yeah. But the point is that they have the people that they wanted currently. Are they going to fix it? Yes.
Of course they're going to fix it. Of course they're going to fix it.
Service.
Yeah.
It's a live service. If it wasn't a live service, it would fall into the category of cyberpunk, and people would just spend $100, suck it up, and wait 3 years for it to be fixed.
Right.
I mean, that's okay, right? It's okay. It's okay for a normal game to come out broke and wait 3 years to fix it and give them $100. But if it's a live service game and you give them $100 and they don't talk to you right away, now it's a fucking crisis. I mean, what are we talking about? You guys want to say apples and oranges all day long, but what I'm saying is it's fucking fruit. It's the same.
Yeah.
I
get it.
Oranges, but it's fucking fruit.
I'm saying the upper management has to say something. Obviously, it's going to get fixed.
Is that going to make you feel better? If Rocksteady's lead guy comes up and sends you an email personally, you're going to feel better inside? You're going to feel all warm?
It would make me as a person, and the people that are out there would go, okay, they're fixing it and they're getting onto it. Where if it's dead silence, you can't log in. Every day you get back on, you log back on, you can't get in. You're like, okay, no Twitter thing saying servers are still down, still having error issues, nothing, just dead silent. Anything saying, yeah, we know, we're fixing it.
I will follow corporate protocol. If it's past the 2-day period in which you have enjoyed the game and now you are no longer to log on, and because of the live service aspect, aka the disclaimer at the beginning of the game, in case you cannot log on for whatever reason, we acknowledge the fact that you can't log on for whatever reason, and we will fix it as soon as we possibly can. But understand that now you cannot get a refund because you've been playing it past the point of refund.
Sure,
like, that's how it goes. This is how it goes.
See, this is how much Sarge has grown, because when Grand Theft Auto had this problem and Anthem had this problem,
garbage,
and all this other problem, Sarge was the one yelling and screaming, and now he's like, kumbaya.
It's not kumbaya. You don't have a choice.
It's just what they do. It's okay.
You don't have a choice. Yeah. Here's why. Here's why. You want to know why? Because I no longer buy day one.
You no longer give a shit.
I no longer buy day one.
Yeah, you no longer give a shit. That's right.
I wait till the game is done. They're done yelling. They're done screaming. Everybody else who's crying on the internet is done crying. And then after 6 months of hating a game, the Metacritic score goes to 75. They say, oh, it's a good game. I don't know what they were talking about. Like, when all that happens, then I go back and say, hey, is this game worth trying? Let me try it. Like, yeah, that's where I am now. Right? Because I got tired of handing over money to fucking monkeys.
I get it.
Who don't know anything. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
No, the last game I think Sarge bought day one was Avengers.
You know what it is.
You have the pins? You got the pins?
I have the pins.
You got
I have the pins.
No,
they're not next to me. Yep.
So
yeah, Marvel's Avengers is the last game I bought day one.
The Helldivers right now, people are loving it, right? Just as much as people that are the people that are giving reviews for Suicide Squad on Steam are loving it. The people on Steam for Helldivers, not so much. It's right now it's a mixed bag, but they have 64,000 people as the max, 61%, 5,287. Oh yeah, 5,287 people upvoted it. 3,175 people downvoted it. It's not very positive right now, but what I watched, it seemed pretty fun. It seemed like a Starship Troopers. It seemed more Starship Troopers than Starship Troopers at this point, right? But then again, Helldivers is released, and Starship Troopers is an alpha or beta, and that comes out in like another year or so. But Helldivers does look interesting, and we'll talk about that more. I think I'll pick it up in a couple weeks when I have more time. Next story. U.S. gamers, Sarge. U.S. gamers spent $57 billion in 2023. I'll just read the first paragraph here, okay? It says, consumer spending in video games in the U.S. through 2023, a total whopping of $57.2 billion. It marketed increase year over year, almost $1 billion in terms of breakdown. Gaming-based consumers spent $48 billion on video game content, $6.6 billion on hardware, and $2.6 billion on peripherals and accessories. So I kind of want to bring this into what's happening with Microsoft right now, right? I'm gonna blend this in with the Microsoft conversation. People are losing their mind for Xbox, right? A rumor came out, Sarge, that Xbox is going to be coming to PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch, and Xbox is closing shop, and they're going to be a third-party publisher, and it's over, and all this stuff is happening. And now, when you look at this number, $57 billion, okay, and in the article here, it says it's been estimated that there are more than 3 billion gamers on Earth, okay? And at the very end, the top-selling game of last year was Hogwarts Legacy and Call of Duty, and on mobile, it was Monopoly Go and Candy Crush, okay? So now, first of all, what do you think about the $57 billion?
I mean, I'm doing some rough math, just some rough math, right? And so a normal amount, like I'm not counting whales and whatnot, a normal amount, right? For the gaming industry to make $57 billion last year, I'm going to give a decent number.
All 3 billion people.
I don't, no. I did about 400 million people.
Okay.
Like I give about maybe 400 million people actual gamers, like worldwide. Right? I'm sure there's a little bit more. But at that number, at 400 million.
Well, there's 3 billion gamers. That's what it says. There's 3 billion gamers out there, including mobile.
If I do 3 billion gamers, then I'm making a hell of a lot per guy. But at 400 million people, the average cost of 400 million people is $142.50 a year, which I think is about right. I think that's about right. I think that most average gamers spend about that much money a year on games, probably more.
Well, the average, we read a couple of months ago, I think the average spender was like $300 to $400 per person per year.
Yeah. But that's 400 million people. All I'm trying to say is that, first of all, $57 billion is a lot of money in a year. And if you believe that the gaming industry as a whole currently, right now, is not making a profit, or is not sustainable.
Wait, say that again. What did you just say?
It is not profitable.
What's not
or
profitable?
Is not sustainable at $57 billion. Then I have a lot of questions.
You're saying if it's not. Yeah, okay.
Well, because you look at it, $57 billion seems like a lot of money, but apparently it's not, because you have to let go of so many people. You have to fire so many of these people every year. $57 billion isn't enough, obviously, because we got to get rid of people. So I'm thinking, my God, $57 billion. That's a lot of cash, bro. That's a lot of cash flow. And if an industry has to fire, what is it, like 10%, 8% of their workforce
which they're doing
every year in order to sustain profitability, it just seems a little strange to me.
Well, the thing that Microsoft is doing potentially, right, is, and which I've also said for 5 years, and this is why I'm not really talking about it on my stream, because I've talked about it for 5 years. I've said that Xbox is no longer playing the same game anymore. They don't care about console sales. They just want Game Pass and software everywhere. I've been saying this for years. So now this week passed, and everyone's losing their mind because everyone has a guy, Sarge. Did you know that? Everyone has a guy. Everyone has a source. Everyone has a guy. My guy told me this. This guy told me that. I hold this. Like, I think people say that just to see if they're credible. Like, they're credible. But when it comes out that things are changing, everyone's like, I don't know what's happening, right? So there's 3 billion people, and Dave Langer says, yeah, but 3 billion includes the people. My aunt who plays Candy Crush on mobile, and she's not a real gamer. Do you think businesses care who real gamers are and non-gamers are? I don't think they care, Dave. I think they care about the people that logged into their game to buy the energy level or the coins or a microtransaction or the actual game itself. They don't care if you play for 1 second or if you play for 1,000 hours. They're all considered consumers and gamers. Gamers are customers. Just remove the name gamers. Customers. There's 3 billion customers that play games. Mobile, handheld, console, PC, television set, doesn't matter. There's 3 billion customers. Okay, so now let's talk about Microsoft, right? Let's just say everything's coming true, Sarge. Everything's coming true. Halo, Gears, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, everything's coming over to PlayStation and Nintendo. What does that mean for Xbox? What does that mean?
One side note, and I'll answer the question.
Yep.
All right. According to last year's revenue charts, right, the NFL, which is basically America's godchild, okay, $27 billion. Okay? So what we're talking about is that the gaming industry doubles what the NFL makes a month or makes in a year. So what is it you think? What is it you think that they are doing that the NFL can't do as far as revenue? The amount of money generated by gaming.
Oh, real quick, a note. I did miss because I didn't read the thing. It is just U.S. U.S. through 2023 was 57 billion.
Right?
Just the U.S. 57
right.
billion.
So think about that for a moment, because you got to think about T-shirts and beer and pretzels, all of everything. $27 billion. A drop in the well compared to what the nerds are generating by sitting in their house and telling their girlfriends to go fuck themselves for 26 hours a week because I'm too busy playing my games. Like $57 billion is nothing to sneeze at all.
Right.
Right. Now, go ahead. One more time with the question.
I was just saying, okay, so let's just say that all these fans that are Xbox, they're giving up their Xbox card because they're like, that's it. Xbox is going third party. Okay. Halo, Gears, Starfield, Sea of Thieves, they're all coming to PlayStation. They're all coming to other consoles. What does that mean for Xbox?
I'm not trying to jump on the 30 and still gaming bandwagon, but we've already had this discussion multiple times. And for those of you that are in the chat now that have not been with us before, I understand the loyalty you have for the plastic box because you might have grown up with the plastic box. I grew up with multiple plastic box. Like, I understand the devotion and the love entailed with loving this plastic box. But Xbox, or Microsoft to a better point, has now decided that after losing the console war about 3 years ago, and if anyone mentions it, if anyone mentions the console war in this chat, will be temporarily timed out for at least an hour, right? If you mention the word console war in here, you will be timed out for about an hour.
Sarge is the mod, right? So he could do that. Right? He could do that.
So I'm done listening to the whole argument that there's a console war. Xbox lost. PlayStation won. Congratulations. I'll get a trophy made for you as soon as I can. What we're talking about is the industry moving forward. They want people to hand over money on a monthly basis, aka
everywhere
subscription service.
Right.
And they want you to be able to play on any device. And I mean that when I say any device. A phone, a tablet, an iPad, Apple phone, a
television set,
Samsung phone, a television, your fucking refrigerator. And don't think I'm making that up, because Skyrim I saw on a refrigerator. It was an LG refrigerator. I saw Skyrim on it.
It's been,
so like, right? So it's been done. So like, they're trying to get a percentage of the world,
right? Of everybody,
right?
Of everybody.
Right? PlayStation is trying to get a percentage of the 150 million people that own a PlayStation.
Yeah, give them 200.
I'll give them 200. I'll give them 200 million. You want 200 million people. You want them to buy shit from you. completely cool. You know your market. Congratulations. You've worked hard for that market. You know your number. Microsoft says we can't win. It was said out loud in public square. We cannot win this.
Right. We
So
lost the
they
console
de-
war two consoles
they
ago, is what they
want to-
said. Yeah.
They want to go in a different direction. They want you to give them money for a subscription service to play games, regardless of where, on their platforms, any platforms. So I don't understand what you think is about to happen. As soon as cloud gaming becomes more stable, right? And it will, because when an entire industry is banking on the fact
Yeah.
if cloud gaming is going to be stable enough, you can pretty much rest assured. I'll compare that the gaming companies and cloud streaming is about hand in hand, as close as lobbyists and political power, right?
Sure.
Right, because they are going to push whatever they have to in order to make sure that cloud gaming goes forward
Internet
in
structure
order for
gets
them
through.
to make money.
Yeah, the internet structure gets through. Hey,
Right.
we're going to
This
give you
is where
$5
we
billion
are.
over here so you can get this thing done faster.
This is where we are. Mo, I understand. I know your love for the box. Yes, there will always be a box, but I hope you don't mind when I tell you that size doesn't matter, because it might be, the box might be this.
That's right.
Or the box might be,
Oh God, don't pull that out, Sarge.
no, I don't have, a box might be like this. It
Yeah,
might
it's
be
like a thumb
flash
drive, like a flash
right?
drive. Yeah.
Whatever sits next to your television that allows you to play the games. Like, I don't know what else to say. Everybody was fine giving up the ownership. Everybody's fine playing digital. Then they tell you you don't need a box to play something. You guys are going to hang on to that for a little bit longer. I need my box. Then when that goes away and you don't need the box anymore, then you guys will say, well, I got my games. They're all my games. And then, like, even then you won't own your games. Like,
Right.
I don't know what you think's about to happen, but things happen exponentially faster than they used to. Like, when someone bought a property in your town and you're like, hey, a Walmart's going to go up there. We heard about it. And then, like, 3 years later, Walmart's built. Well, they're telling you cloud gaming is going to be standard. Do you think it's going to be 3 years before cloud gaming standard? I don't think so.
I gave it 5 to 7 is what I said. So
I think there are things in the works that are going to make cloud gaming standard. That way you don't have to worry. Listen, what would be, let's talk for business sense. What would be cheaper? Would it be cheaper to have to rebuild the infrastructure for the entire country, 400 million people, almost 400 million people, to put in lines and wires and all kinds of things underground? Or would it be cheaper to invest in the capability of transferring data at super high speeds, and then we can just put those things on the towers we actually have, or the satellites we have in space?
Right.
What do you think would be cheaper business-wise? So if you think like them, then you know what the answer is, right? I don't know what to tell you. If you're trying to expand in a market and you're looking for infrastructure, the infrastructure is there, but it's slow going. If you're trying to encapsulate this number of people to actually warrant you going in this direction, as Microsoft has decided to go in this direction. They didn't just do it willy-nilly. They said, we're going in this direction. We know we can't be PlayStation. We want the world. We don't want the 150 or the 200, right? So what do you think is cheaper? What do you think's about to happen in the next nickel?
So my question to you now is, next week when Phil Spencer comes out or Microsoft comes out, I think I'll tell you what my thing is. I've been saying it for 5 years. It hasn't changed. I think each game is a case-by-case scenario, just the same. I think instead of games just coming out, and I've said this in the past, you can go look it up. I'm going to show you a prediction I made just 6 months ago in just a second, right? I think Starfield's going to come out to PlayStation, but I think it's going to come out at the 1 year mark. Okay. I said this last year or 2 years ago when they first announced Starfield, and everyone's like, it's exclusive. And I said, it's exclusive until it's not. Okay. I said, they're going to tap that resource of people going to Game Pass. They're going to get the PC people. They're going to get the sales, and then it'll move over once it's done. Right. Companies or series like Halo or Gears, Halo's been on the console for 20 years. Okay. Gears has been on the console for 20 years. Okay, so if they get that, fine. Right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if you're a person that likes playing Xbox and likes playing games and likes those first party titles and you just own an Xbox, you could still play those games. Okay? And if you're a PlayStation person, you'll get those games down the road. Some games will come out day and date, but those will be third party games that'll come out just like they are now. Now, games like Sea of Thieves, which is a live service game, I think is going to move over to PlayStation because based on their update that they did just a couple weeks ago, it seems very new, friendly, piratey type stuff to get new players understand what's going on in the game. And I think they're going to get a whole bunch of brand new players in the game. That's going to be through PlayStation. People want to argue that there's no way they're going to do this. And Microsoft will take 10% of everything instead of taking 100% of nothing. Okay? And that's what Microsoft wants to do. Microsoft wants to be in as many places as possible. Okay? And you can still get the exclusive. And people will be like, well, I'll just wait a year. Fine. I'm doing that now. Right? I'm not buying a PlayStation 5 so I can play Spider-Man 2. I'm just going to wait for Spider-Man 2 to come to PC, and then I'll get it on PC. It's the exact same thing, right? So that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to maybe rebrand. People are speculating that now. Instead of saying Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, it might be Microsoft Game Pass. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, it means absolutely nothing. It's the exact same thing with a different brand new name on it. But that's what I think is going to happen. I think first-party titles from Xbox are going to come out within 6 to a year to the other third-party titles or other consoles. And then some games are going to come out day one because that's what suits that for a multiplayer game, live service game, some sort of thing like that. If it's a single-player game, I think it comes out on Xbox first, and then it comes to PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever third party. But they're already doing it. They're already doing day and date on PC and Xbox. So what's the big leap? What's the big leap? So what do you think, Sarge? Do you think they're going to stay as course, or do you think they're gonna make some dramatic change where all of a sudden all first party titles come on PlayStation day and date?
The original reason for first party titles was because you wanted people to be in your ecosystem. This is before microtransactions. This is before any of the online stores. I'm just talking about the Magic Box itself. In order for you to sell titles that you get to claim more of the money from, you want people to have the box that they want you to have in order for them to sell more games to you.
Right.
Well, we've reached the point now where the box is just a portal to getting to the games that you want to play. So they said, instead of worrying about one portal, we're going to just say all portals are good. As long as you have a way to play a game, you have a way to play the games that we have. Now, in the old days, it's counterintuitive because you're losing money because you got to have them to have your box. But in today's market, where everything is online and I can get games from wherever,
right?
I just want to be the guy that says, hey, if you play these games, you got to give me $5 a month. Like, that's the difference. The difference is instead of you selling me a game and then the game being done, I'm asking you to pay me a monthly fee for the option to play this game wherever you want.
Right, convenience.
Not that you have the game. I'm asking you to give me money to allow you to play the game wherever you want. That's the sale. Because if I have my phone and I'm in the desert and I got a Wi-Fi signal because a satellite's flying over and I could play Call of Duty, that's a win. That's worth $5, right? That's a win. That's the game. The game is to be able to collect money, and I know this sounds coming crass for me, but the idea is to claim money from somebody that they're not doing anything, right? And I know it sounds weird, right? But if I have if I have 150 games on Steam, I know there's a lot more. But if I have 150 games on Steam and 10 are new, and the rest are over 3 years old, right? Those games that are 3 years old, nobody would have gave a shit about at all, except for the small population of people that actually like that kind of game. Otherwise, for everybody else, it would be water under the bridge. Don't care. But what Microsoft has done is they're using games that are 2+ years old as a value proposition to why you want to have their service, because wherever you are, you can play games. We've got all these great games. Oh, and by the way, when we have these other new games come out, when and if they come out, you will also get to play those games. Oh, but if you want to play them the day that they come out, as opposed to you buying them, you have to get the ultimate package instead of just the regular package. Right? Like, that's the game, right? I'm giving you money for doing nothing. That game was going to come out regardless. If I have everybody who has a fucking television giving me $5 a month,
right? Exactly.
It doesn't matter at that point how many games I fucking sell, because they're collecting money every month for just telling you, hey, you get to play a game. The earlier you guys understand that concept, you'll start to move away from the fact of brick and mortar and your precious box and your precious games. This is where we are. This is where we are. The part that makes the difference, and I mean this, the part that makes the difference is you have to be knowledgeable enough to know not to give them money until they show you the product. Not before, not pre-order, not early access, not code given. Like, you don't give them a dime, not a dime, until they show you the product. Because at that point, the pressure goes back on them and you are in control. If you keep giving them money on battle passes and skins and pre-order nonsense, then they don't have to give you a product on day one. When you guys figure this out, the industry will change. Until then, it is now your problem.
Right. Yeah, but you know that Xbox loses money on. There was an article like 2 years ago, right? Like 2 years ago, we did it on the stream. Xbox loses like $200 per console. Okay, like every Xbox Series X they sell, they lose $200. Okay, there's only like 23,000 or 23 million Xboxes in circulation between the S and X. Okay, so every time they sell an Xbox, they're losing. Now they don't have to sell anything. Right?
They're not losing anything.
You can they'll still take the loss of $200 if someone wants to buy an X or an S, right? It's not $200 for an S, but they're still losing money for consoles. But it doesn't matter because they want you to get in on the subscription model. Okay, the subscription model, they'll make that over the time of 3 years if you're playing, and as long as they keep coming out with games, right? You might pay Game Pass for 1 month, and then you might buy the game that comes off of Game Pass, right? Because they have third-party games that come on, and then you buy it, right? And now if you don't have to dish out $500 for the box, and you already have a television set, you already have the mobile phone, you already have a computer, you already have it, then you'll just purchase more, right? That's what they do. They don't care, right? When I say they don't care about console sales, it's such a minute section of the entire thing, okay? Like, it's a grocery store now. Xbox is like, just play wherever you want. We don't care. We just want to make that $10. We want to make that $15. We want to make that $17. We want to make the microtransactions. We want to make. That's it. That's all they want.
But I think part of the problem, though, and I know this sounds petty, but part of the problem is if you have a bunch of companies who are making games that are just played anywhere, then you can't assess blame to anything.
Right.
Like a developer makes a game, right? Let's say it's XYZ made a great game, and they release it on everything, right? On my refrigerator. And one day I'm bored, I get a glass of milk, and I decide to play XYZ's game on my refrigerator. And then it's not a good game. Who do I blame? The only person I can blame is the actual developer. I can't blame any company,
right,
or Samsung or my refrigerator. There's no one to blame, right? But all I'm doing is paying the $10 a month or $5 a month to have the game on my refrigerator. So this game's bad, this game's not, but I'm still entertained. That's the name of the game, right? Right. This is still, the defense is always, this is still the cheapest form of entertainment, dollars to donuts, that there ever has been, which is why they keep raising prices and you guys keep paying for it, because in some strange way, you know that it's still a good deal. You still know it's a good deal, right?
Here,
if I keep raising the price,
wrong button, chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring Abe in.
Yeah, if I'm charging you $100 a game,
I went to switch.
we talk about this often. We always talk about this often. If you create the problem, you're allowed to sell the solution, right? And so the problem now, besides broken games, is games now they want to be $100. They want it to be $100. So if I tell you the games are $100 now, doesn't that make you want to think about getting a service? Because if you're the type of guy that buys like 5 or 6 games a year, that's like $600. But if I get to play on the service day and day for only $20 a month, then it's a no-brainer. Because I can play any game I want for $20 a month and not have to worry about the psychoticness of buying a game that might be broken day one for $100.
Look, this is an article.
I mean,
this is an article from
crazy over here.
This is an article from November 2nd, 2022. Xbox loses as much as $200 on every Xbox it sells, Phil Spencer says. According to Microsoft CEO Phil Spencer, Microsoft loses as much as $200 on every Xbox it sells. According to CNBC write-up, the recent WSJ Tech Live event, Spencer closed that Microsoft subsidizes the production cost of the new Xbox by $100 to $200 per console. Okay, so I'm not making shit up, right? We talked about this back in the day when it was talked about. Okay, so I want to move over.
Just that alone, bro. Just that alone says that for the 30 million people plus that have bought an Xbox, right? That they would make a 50% increase in profits just from them not buying it.
Xbox is the third highest profitable margin for Microsoft.
No. What I'm saying though is if they lose $200, if you're buying a $500 system and you're losing $200 for each sale, right?
Right.
That means that if you didn't buy the box, that you're making that entire profit, the entire $500 profit, which is over 50% in sales.
Right. So when they're selling the stuff though, right? So they're, like I said, they're profitable. Xbox is profitable. Game Pass is profitable. Okay. So I want to talk about last year. We're moving over from Microsoft talk to more Microsoft talk when Final Fantasy came out. And on August 3rd of 2023, there was a tweet. Okay. There was a tweet that came out and, yeah, it was just bad timing, chat. I didn't mean to push the button, but you know, it fits I guess it could fit based on the Microsoft fans out there. Okay. So Tom Warren came out in August and said Xbox chief Phil Spencer, Microsoft is looking towards building the Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox. Announcement is partnering with Square Enix in the future games. And here's what I said. Here's what I said back in August 3rd of last year. Let me make sure it's okay. One of the best MMOs that they've ever created in the history of MMOs, right? Final Fantasy XIV is one of the most popular MMOs out there, okay? And they said, we're bringing that to Xbox, okay? Now, I think, they haven't announced this, they haven't said anything, I think they're going to bring the Game Pass, right? And then there's certain people said, I don't think they're going to bring it to Game Pass, and I said, oh yeah, they're bringing it to Game Pass, right? Because, not to say you can't buy Final Fantasy, there you go, right? So there's the fortune teller, okay? There's the fortune teller. And then here is the actual proof now, okay? Final Fantasy and Xbox. Okay, Xbox version release. Xbox users have waited a long time for the arrival of Xbox for Final Fantasy XIV, but now the release of the acclaimed MMORPG Microsoft console is at hand. The open beta for Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox Series S and X scheduled to begin on Wednesday, the 21st, February 2024, and around 8 GMT. Now, Square Enix has revealed today how to participate in the upcoming test, and information includes some of the unfortunate news that the full game, not the open beta, for free trial will require Game Pass subscription to be played on Xbox. Now, when I did this story earlier this week, Sarge, my chat informed me that there's a free trial. The free trial is the base game that's from 0 to 60, chat, or is it from 70, up to 70, right? So, but 4 different articles, and this is how you can't really trust the industry, Sarge. 4 separate articles all said the exact same thing. They say you have to pay $23 because you have to pay the MMO fee for Final Fantasy, and you have to pay the Microsoft Xbox Game Pass. So you're paying $23 per month to play Final Fantasy. But if you just have Game Pass, you get the free trial. And the free trial, you can play up to 70 levels. Okay? So, but nobody reports that. Nobody reports that. They tell you you have to, if you want to play Final Fantasy XIV, you have to pay $23 to play it. Okay? Which I think is a little scummy by the media, the journalists out there. But hey, whatever. But the real point here is, Sarge, that God damn it, I did it again. I did it again. The fortune teller has done it again. I said it's coming to Game Pass, and people said it's never coming to Game Pass, and now here it is. Okay. So what do you think, Sarge? Are you going to give this a shot when it comes to Game Pass? I know you like Elder Scrolls Online. Are you going to give Final Fantasy a shot when it comes to Game Pass?
I mean, I've been waiting to play Final Fantasy 14, I think, for as long as I can remember. I mean, I always wanted to play it, but I never got to because I didn't have a PlayStation. So if it comes to Game Pass, regardless of not if it's $10 or $15 a month, or it's free to level 70,
right?
That's ridiculous.
And then after that, it's just like ESO. You want the DLC, you pay for the DLCs, right?
Yep.
And you pay. You don't pay a subscription model for that, but you do.
I have this dream of trying to play through the game as a red mage. I know it's kind of hard, but I have this dream of playing through as a red mage. I want to see if it works.
Water says if you guys start playing, he'll go back and he'll carry us through with his 78 level Dark Knight.
I don't want you carrying me through. I don't want anyone carrying me through. That's the most boring shit ever, is to have some Uber guy carry you through the fucking game. Nope.
Well, at that point, at that point, Krebsy, though, I mean, someone said the other day, how many hours in for the 70 level? Like if you do all the story within this,
I mean, if you
it's like hundreds of hours. It's hundreds of hours.
Don't know how to grind. I'm sure it's a long time, but I'm sure people who know how to grind.
No, but not even just to get to level 70. Just the story, the amount of story is in there. It's like 500 hours worth of content. Okay, so my point is, at that point, if you've put 500 hours into Final Fantasy 14, right, and then you have to pay $23 a month to continue playing, I think you're a little hooked, right? You're hooked.
If you like it, you like it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you like it, you like it. You'll pay the $23, right? And you'll play it until you're done playing, and then you'll put it down, and then you come back later or whatever. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot when it comes out. I just don't like that articles and stuff. And again, I didn't know. I just read the articles on my morning show, right? And everyone's like, "No, you get the free trial." So I think it's if you guys like to me prediction, I do lots of predictions and we have lots of receipts. It's really hard for me to go back and try to find these receipts, but my brain's sharp enough and I know when I talked about it. So
we talked about that in the past, how Final Fantasy, once they were talking about how to make more revenue on Game Pass is the way to go, because Microsoft would just give them the money to be on there.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense. It would not make sense not to.
Right. My other predictions that are going to come true is Battlefront 3 is being worked on. Game Pass will come to PlayStation sometime down the road, and Xbox or and Nintendo, but we don't know when that is. And that Keystone is going to be coming for Xbox within the next 2 years. So those are all the other predictions I've said. I also get some wrong though. So
I think that at some point they're going to figure out that the time is actually a factor. I think that they factor in a little bit, but I don't think they factor in enough to warrant them doing anything different. But the number of people that play specific games is being divided now because of the games as service model and because of the way games are made now. I think what they're going to end up having to try to do is that they're going to understand that once they release, you have a certain window to accommodate that many people that are going to play your game. But they're going to have to do some kind of marketing ploy where they release certain things for certain games at a specific time to get more people to play those games for the next couple months, and then they swap off.
Right.
Because if everybody's trying to release, and I know they kind of do this now, basically, but I'm talking about like a concerted effort that, let's say, like the first-person shooters get the bump like in the springtime, and then the RPGs get the bump in the fall, and then the action adventure games get the bump in like the winter time, like so people are playing those games more, which gives people that are not playing those games and the other genres like time to either fix them or adjust them or do whatever else, because there's if you're weighing the popularity of a game just based on, and I hate the Metacritic, the one on Steam, but what is it called, the peak in the numbers of people playing, right?
Oh, the concurrent number.
The concurrent plays. Like if you're really basing it on that, it's like what's going on in those games at that time. Like if I'm promoting first person shooters the whole time, then I should have more people playing first person shooters in that time bank. Like that's kind of like how they're going to do it, because I don't see how you can spend this much money to do a specific game and then have to worry about 4 different releases for an ongoing game. And then you think your game's going to be popular when it comes out, when everybody else is waiting for the next content for this list of games. You know what I mean?
Right. Real quick, Dave, I'm gonna comment on your comment in chat, because on my channel, anyone that ever says never is always wrong. So I'm gonna make a mark of that, right? So you say Game Pass is never coming to PlayStation, so I'm gonna say that out loud so I can mark that in my video. So when it does happen, because I always say never,
We're gonna be a call,
right? I'll bring this back up for a receipt, because
we'll
I'm not saying it's coming out next week. I'm just saying that down the road, Game Pass will be on third-party consoles.
I mean, it would have to be like what the percentage would be, right? Like if they gave once again, do I want 15% taste, or do I want no taste? If I give it to PlayStation and they get a taste, like they get 25% or 30%, like even if they get the majority of the percent, but then Microsoft would still get a percent. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
You're still collecting money from people who would not give you money before.
Yeah, because in the deal in my head that they would do, we talked about it a little bit earlier. They would take like Game Pass and put it on the and I said, I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying this is how they could do it. Okay, they could take Game Pass and give it to PlayStation. PlayStation can put it on their premier top spot, right? Because at this time, right, it would be like an Ubisoft Plus. It'd be like an EA Play. It would be like whatever those services are. It would just be part of the highest tier, and they would put it on there, and they would get a percentage of every person that goes and gets that premium. And then Microsoft would make the money off of the small percentage of whatever monthly fee they get for that. And then they would also get all the sales that would come from the microtransactions of the live service games, the cosmetics, and all that stuff. And sure, PlayStation's getting their cut. But again, would you rather have 100% of nothing, or would you rather have 10% of everything? Okay? And Microsoft is they're a business. They know what they're doing, hence why they're the number one business in the world right now at trillions of dollars, $3 trillion. Okay? That's what's happening, right? Like, you can run Windows on Apple, just to let you know, right? You can run Windows on Apple natively. You don't have to hack it. You could do stuff like that. So people said it would never be on Apple, and then it was. Okay, so don't ever say never. I'm just saying that it's going to happen down the line. It just has to have the contract in place and what percentage is happening. But yeah, we'll jump back to that in the future. The next thing I want to talk about, we're losing their minds about that. Okay, Ubisoft CEO defends Skull and Bones $70 price despite the live service leaning. Calling it's a quadruple A game. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
So
that's a mistake. So to say that's a mistake.
So during a Q&A session as part of the conference call distributing Ubisoft's Q3 sales, the fiscal year 2024, one caller pointed out that Skull and Bones now appears to be taking a more live service approach, and the gamer's year one roadmap was recently published, for example. Now, the caller asked Ubisoft was instituting a charging of $70 for the game, potentially limiting the size of the player's base, suggesting that free-to-play model may be better suited for a live service mechanic and give a better chance of building the community. I just want you to remember, this game was supposed to be $40 in the very beginning, and then they changed that. So he said he replied that Skull and Bones deserves to be a full-price game because of its scale. You'll see that Skull and Bones is a full-fledged game. Hold on a second. Full-fledged game. Let me go to this other article real fast. Former Skull and Bones director says...
Define that for me.
Hold on. Former Skull and Bones director says making a separate solo campaign would have prevented a team from creating a really deep open world. All right, let me go back to the other article now. Replied with, Skull and Bones is a fully fledged game, he said, in a very big game, and we feel that people will really see how vast and complete that game is. It's really full, triple, quadruple A game that will deliver in the long run. The key word there. Deliver in the long run. Meaning it's not going to deliver in the beginning. It'll make its way through in 18, 24, 36 months going down.
Doesn't matter how a game starts, bro.
Right.
It only matters how a game finishes.
Right? That's how it is. right? So following a troubled development, right? Because this game got resetted 4 times. It's gone through 3 directors of the actual game. It's been delayed 7 times. I'm sure it's a full-fledged game and it'll work out fine. And I want to make sure that I'm not shitting on Skull and Bones. I just want to make sure that people understand that this game will not be complete when it launches, okay? With 7 delays, with 3 directors, with 4 times rebooting it and coming up with different things. There's no single-player campaign. It's an open world where you can go about and do your own thing. Just make sure you do your research before you buy Skull and Bones, because you buy Skull and Bones today, okay, you might have an issue where the servers are down and their community manager might tell you that anything's going on. I'm just saying. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll be Helldivers and maybe they won't be like Suicide Squad, but we'll see. Okay. But this game is a red flag for me across the board, especially I love how the guy says it's a quadruple A game and it's a full-fledged game. And then a different article says, yeah, we don't have a single-player campaign at all.
What's the definition of a quadruple game? That means they spent 10 times more money than they need to.
They spent a shit ton of money.
Yeah. I mean, it's just saying that alone puts the game in a troubled spot. But we all know from reading many articles that the game is an obligation game. They're trying to pay back Singapore for giving them money to. I'm glad that Singapore has these subsidiaries that gives people money to make video games on the side to help them out. Like, I think it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. But this game has to come out one way or the other. So they're just trying to capture as many people as possible and promote this game as much as possible, because when it officially releases, I'm sure the return time is going to be like 12 hours or 10 hours or something, because the people who buy this game are going to be stuck with this game. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but we all know.
I'd be wary.
We all know what's going on with this game. Like, what's going on.
But you can play the beta right now. There's a beta out right now. If you guys are on the fence about buying this game or looking into this game, go watch people play it. Go play it yourself. Dive into it. Make sure that's something you want to spend $70 on. Or I know there's a bonus, a deluxe edition as well. Just make sure you do your homework. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm hoping what happens is the game comes out and then somebody from IGN or Kotaku says that it's not a Batman game, and they go off some kind of tirade about how it's not a Batman game. So, and someone will say it's a pirate game, and they go, I don't care about that. I just care that it's not a Batman game and the game sucks. Like that. That's gonna be the defense. I think it's hilarious.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously this is it is a live service type of game. I mean, it is a live service game. Avatar was not. Both made by Ubisoft. Okay. Do you think that Ubisoft does Avatar sell more copies than Skull and Bones, or does Skull and Bones sell more copies? And I'm not saying over in the long run. I'm saying up front, like in the beginning.
Well, don't you find it interesting at all that Avatar is not talked about at all?
Yeah, I mean, they made a game, they sold a game, and that game went away.
But that's what I mean. Like, they made a game, they sold the game, but no one says anything good, no one says anything bad. It just came out, and we're good with it.
It's just there, yeah. It's just a game. If you want to be, if you're an Avatar fan, the game's there for you.
Right.
I mean, you're right, chat. Yeah, it's not Black Flag.
The way that some of these things are now laid out, it just makes it so complicated to want to try to be objective, right? And this is why I always say that I don't really believe that there's a process by which you review a game. It's based purely on opinion, and if enough people hate the game and get enough clickbait on it, then the game is bad before it comes out. And so I'm guessing that this game is okay on some level, that no one's shitting on it from day one. I mean, it just seems weird. It's strange to me how certain journalists, handle the release of these games, whether or not they're good, bad, or indifferent.
I mean, right now, Avatar came out December 7th, and it's on sale for $30 right now, or $40 right now.
But there's no word about it. No one's saying, "Oh my God, Avatar is so bad, it's $30 now."
No,
what a piece of crap.
Yeah, it was just kind of. It's a good game. I think it was a good game. Yeah. I mean, obviously, when I say good game, it's a 72. So it's
crap
on Metacritic.
Yeah,
so
we already know
that's trash.
Anything with 70 is a garbage game. Yeah.
Anything below a 90, Sarge, is trash.
I thought it was 85.
No. Anything below a 90 is trash according to the internet, right? You can't have a game that's in the 89. You're on the border of having a great game, but it's
Oh, right. So, right, 89 is trash.
that's
by
right.
Almost
Trash
full
night.
game.
That's right. You got to put
Yeah.
the trash
All right.
night in the chat when, right? And again, people that are coming into this channel, I don't think a game in the 80s is trash. It's the internet that likes to say that's right. Good game for $30. Yeah, I think. And what did I say a couple months ago? I said I'll wait for it to come on sale, and now it's here. Right, it's on sale. It'll go lower. It'll go down. I think it's $40. I think it's $40. It says right here. Let me bring it up. Avatar, Frontier, Pandora discounted to lowest price yet. Right now, it's Best Buy. Avatar, Frontiers, Pandora has seen the price slashed by $30. Is now $39.99. So $40. $40. So it's a 43% sale for it. So look, I when I saw the game, I thought it was a good game. I know some of you guys don't like Ubisoft games. I'm not interested in like the Assassin's Creed games, but I heard the Mirage was really good. I am interested in Star Wars Outlaws. I'm very interested in Star Wars Outlaws, and I'm interested in Division 3 when it comes out. So, but I like Massive, right? And Massive, to me, makes good games. I like their looter shooters, and I'm interested in the Star Wars Outlaws when it comes out. So we'll see what happens more when that comes out. But be wary of Skull and Bones. Again, you can go play the beta right now. Let me see what else we got.
I mean, they're really promoting the shit out of it. You noticed that, right?
Oh yeah, it's a full blitz.
Right. That's
full blitz.
I think the reason why that it increased the price the way it did, 'cause I think it was supposed to originally be like a $40 or $50 game. It's because of all the advertisement.
Well, do you know what they just said? What happens if you played during the beta?
No.
Well, if you played during the beta, all your stuff is saved. So when you get the game,
it's just a bait. That's all it is a bait.
So if you play the beta, all your stuff gets moved over to the game if you purchase it. So.
Yep.
So that's happening. Let me see if I missed anything. We got the Helldivers talk. We talked about the Suicide Squad. We talked about the 57 billion. Here's the story. The last story. Okay, almost missed it. Okay, Sarge. We got the Disney invests $1.5 billion into Epic to create a persistence universe tied to Fortnite. All right. So they came out and they showed this trailer. Okay, I'm not going to show it because I don't want to get, copyright claimed or anything like that. So they show this trailer where it says magic, live inside the world. You can play, you can watch, you can create, and you can shop. Okay, and they show this map, and in this map they show a vast land of things. Okay, and in this they show a Star Wars land, they show a Pandora land, they show a Frozen land, they show a Marvel land, they show like a sort of like
that is exactly like Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, Second Life type of stuff, right?
Yep.
They have like a racetrack going around it.
Exactly like Ready Player One.
So what do you think this means for, I don't want to say Disney, but what do you think this means for Epic? Because we saw what they did with Legos, right? So Legos invested, the Lego family that owns Lego, they invested $2 billion 2 years ago. And then we saw Lego Fortnite, what's happening right now. Okay. And now Disney spends $1.5 billion to make this virtual world, this metaverse of Disney where you can play, watch, shop, create. What do you think this is?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they actually know what they want that to be yet. I'll be honest. I'm being honest. Like I know I've had to watch Ready Player One a few times to understand like what it is they do when they go there. Like I understand it's a virtual world, but like where do you go? So like there are places to go to shop, and then there's certain games that are in certain planets, and so you have to go to that planet to play that kind of game. Like it's exactly the same. They got different world zones that you go to those worlds in order to play those specific games. So like it sounds great in theory, but it's a lot of money to want to come up with the world, and then like each section of the world has to have specifics that you want to go to that world. So instead of you saying like I turn on my console or my PC and I want to play Minecraft, right? So then I just load Minecraft. Or in this world, I'm going to a world that is Minecraft, but I have to travel there from different locations in the game.
Not Minecraft.
Like a game.
I
You're
got you.
playing a game. Like there's different versions of the Fortnite game.
I
Like
got you. I
doing
got you.
this version or that version.
Roblox,
Or,
Minecraft, Fortnite, right?
right. Like whatever version of the game you want to play. So are people to the point now where they're comfortable existing in that game, looking for versions of that game inside that world? Or is it just you choosing a game and start playing? You know what I mean? Like you're trying to keep people in that world and show them pretty things so that they'll buy stuff. Like that's the whole game, right? Like I'm gonna go to Princess World, and Princess World's gonna have all the cool dresses for the princesses and the crowns and the shoes. And so all the pretty princesses are going to want to go to Princess World in order to buy that stuff. But I can only buy that stuff if I go to Princess World. Like I can't go to like Fortnite deathmatch mode and buy the princess shoes. Like they want you to go like you're shopping in a mall. Like you're channeling people into different locations in order to buy those things so they can keep track of who's going where. Right. But it looks cool because we're making different worlds.
Well, this is what I think. This is what I think is going to happen, right? Just like it happened in Second Life. I talked about this earlier in my morning stream, right? I think that not only can you, because it says play, create, watch, shop. So play means they're going to have stuff for you to do to play. Create means that you can go create your own things within these worlds. So now I want to look at, they have all the Star Wars characters in this game now, or all the Marvel characters in this game now.
Yeah, everything,
right?
And by the way, just so I'm gonna nitpick just for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the back part of the screen right there where the Star Wars stuff is.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So that picture of that island is the exact format of the pictures from the game on the PC called Empire at War. That's the picture.
Right. Okay.
No, that's the actual picture. They just used it, just stretched it out.
Well, it's a concept drawing.
And made it a land. Yeah, that's the actual picture.
Okay. So when you're in this world, imagine that you could create your own Battlefront with the characters from Fortnite within this world, right? Imagine that because they teamed up with Transformers, they could have, obviously it's not part of Disney, but you could have your own Transformer battle, right? Or if they brought in G.I. Joe, you can make your own G.I. Joe first-person shooter, third-person, right? You can make your own world itself. I think you're going to live in this world. I think they're going to have houses that are in here that you get to collect stuff and decorate and put your stuff in. I think that if you look at this is a Disney Plus section over here. Okay, I think you're literally going to go to that section instead of going to your computer and typing in disneyplus.com and then watching a show there. You're going to walk in to that section. Your character's going to walk into an actual theater or a movie theater or whatever you want to call it, and you're going to be able to watch the movie inside the game itself, right? Now,
it seems like it.
I know people are like, who would do that? A lot of people. Okay,
Yeah.
a lot of people. I used to walk in, and this is years ago in Second Life. You would walk into a theater that was made by somebody, and they had a video player of YouTube inside this theater, and people were watching movies illegally. We were watching movies inside of this world. Okay, now obviously they're not going to do it illegally because Disney paid them money to put Disney Plus on the actual thing, right? Disney's looking to get how many people? They're losing subscribers left and right. If you could watch a movie they show, hey, 20th Century Fox is showing a free movie. We're showing it inside Fortnite. Hey, they have an event, right? Taylor Swift just signed a deal with Disney Plus to put their concert into Disney Plus, right? So what about if you watch the concert inside this world of their land here? A new movie comes out, a premiere movie, only showing inside Fortnite. Okay,
right.
Sporting event,
right.
Here's a sporting event. You go to ESPN Stadium and you can watch a sporting event inside the stadium, right? Then, because Fortnite also makes toys now, right? You go to Target, you see the guns, you see the figurines, you see all that stuff. Well, Disney can also now make characters that also are now characters. So you're buying Buzz Lightyear or Woody from Disney that are also on the toy shelves. Now, I'm not saying they're doing this, but potentially they could do the exact same thing they did with Disney Infinity, where you scan the bottom of the code of the thing, and then that character you buy in the store is now in your world inside. So you're buying physical goods to put in your digital store. Shops, you're going to buy furniture to put in your stores. You're going to buy outfits. You're going to buy customization stuff. There's so much that Disney and Epic can do with this whole thing. As a person, as an adult that's 45 years old, I'm not excited about this as a game. But I'm very intrigued by the technology and the innovation that they could bring to this, based on the metaverse that's happening. Everyone's jockeying for metaverse position. Everyone's trying to Facebook, Google. They're all trying to get into Epic. I think Epic is the closest one. I do. I think Epic's the closest one because with the Unreal Engine and with the way it's adaptable, what they can do, okay, even if other people are using other software, they're going to have to go to Epic for the Unreal Engine, okay? And on top of that, the shops to make Amazon, to make Disney Plus Store, a gift shop where you walk into and buy the digital good in the game for your character, and then maybe you buy the actual physical thing that gets sent to you as well, right? You can literally make it a Amazon shop, and you can go browse it in a different way than you would by just scrolling your finger. You're taking your character and walking into a store and looking at the actual thing. You could,
right?
You see what I'm saying? There's so much they can do with this. So I'm impressed, but I'm also wondering, how the hell did Disney afford this? They're losing people left and right off Disney Plus. Like tens of millions of people are losing. They're losing money on Disney Plus, and yet they toss out a $1.5 billion for this.
Well, I made a mistake earlier today. I said within the last 10 years. It's actually within the last 4 years. Disney has lost $10 billion. So I think what their gamble here is to capture kids who are inside of a virtual world who will buy things with the money that they earn from playing the games. But you know as well as I do that it's never just quite enough money. So it becomes like this, I've earned 10, but I ought to earn another 5 somehow. So mom's got to give me the 5, but I've earned the 10. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It just seems like it's marketed to kids. Like, I'm not 100% behind something like this until I actually see what it is. But I'm pretty sure that's what this is the exploitation of children playing video games.
Yeah, Prosty, I know about the concerts and stuff that were already in the game. I'm saying they're taking it to the next level. Like you go and watch a sporting event inside the game. Like it's a video screen. Like the Super Bowl's coming, right? So inside the game, instead of going to your television set and watching it, you go with your friends to the actual stadium and then you watch the Super Bowl. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot that they can do. And I'm not saying they're animating the characters. You're just watching the screen. It's very meta, right? It's very like you in real life are picking up the controller, taking your virtual character, walking into a stadium to watch the Super Bowl, which then goes full screen on your screen, but your character's in the foreground, or you can banish it away, right? Again, this is not innovative in any way, shape, or form, right? Because Second Life did this back in 2006. Okay, here we are almost 20 years later, and they're doing the exact same thing, potentially again. Can you imagine those, Sarge? A virtual Disney World where you can go on the rides and stuff inside the actual thing.
I know, man. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if you were going to do a virtual reality thing of an amusement park, I think Disney would probably be the first one to actually do it. It would make sense. But I'm not sure, Ben. Is it the same? Would it be the same? Like, you'd have to be, the culture would have to be ready to accept that as the norm. That I'm going to Disney World virtually,
or they
and not
train,
going to Disney
or
World.
they literally train the new generation to be okay with it as they get right.
Yep.
They condition them. They condition them at this younger age.
Yep. So that's also cool.
Yeah, interesting. All right, chat. We got a couple of minutes. If you're a member of the chat, if you're a paid member, I'm not shutting it down or anything. But if you have a question you would like to ask us, just put @30 NSG. In chat, and you can ask me and Sarge a question. We'll stick around for about 10 minutes. Sarge has got to go to bed because he's got an early flight in the morning. So,
yeah, I gotta pack.
So we'll wait a couple of minutes. So you guys have a question for Sarge or myself? Just put @30 NSG, and if you remember, we'll read it or answer your question. So, I think, I'm impressed.
It's very ambitious. The whole thing with Fortnite and this whole world thing is very ambitious, but it's definitely in the same realm as Ready Player One.
Do you think this lasts longer than the Star Wars hotel? What lasts longer? The Star Wars hotel, which was open for just over a year, or this?
I mean, this. And it's cheaper. This and it's cheaper.
I guess it could be cheaper, yeah. Because they have the cruise line. Look, I've never been on a Disney cruise, but if I could get on a cruise ship and check it out before I actually go on a cruise, that'd be interesting. Stuff like that. I don't know. It seems like, wait, the Star Wars hotel closed? Yeah, Dolphin. Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. It's empty, and they're actually rebuilding it or trying to fix something There's two options. Right now, it's a storage facility.
Yep.
A really expensive storage facility, or they might be turning it into a Marvel hotel. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was FOMO. You had to get there. It was FOMO.
A Marvel hotel.
They were actually thinking about reopening it as a Star Wars hotel. This is a rumor, though.
I think they're using it as a Star Wars event or something.
Yeah,
right?
so they might open it back up as a Star Wars event center type of thing, where and then market it towards more of the our generation with the old school Star Wars instead. That's just a rumor, though. I think the one that they're actually going forward with is the Marvel Hotel.
Are you talking about virtually or in reality, Magic?
Would you guys go jump around Mario Land? Oh, in Universal, it's not open yet. It opens in 2025. Absolutely, my son's super excited about it. He knows everything about the park before it even opened. They're still building it in Orlando, but it's open in California and it's opened up in Japan, I believe. B says,
it's hard to answer your question outright, B, because when you're talking about reviewing a game or giving your opinion on the game, we try to follow a plan. Like, what are we looking at when we look at a game? It's very opinionated. So, yeah, people hated Starfield, but we like Starfield. People hated Suicide Squad, but 30 likes Suicide Squad. So, like, you're not going to get, like, you're not always going to be on the side where the majority agrees with you. But if your defense for a game has to be done equally with somebody else, like, if you're going to give your opinion on a game, then we have to go by that guy's opinion and we score it. Then we do the opposite and we do by the other guy's opinion and then we score that. Like, that gives you like what you're looking for, because like I'm not sure if you were here during the beginning of the stream, but I said that I had played through another playthrough of Fallout 4 for shits and giggles. And after all the storytelling and what goes on inside Fallout 4, I compared it to Starfield as far as storytelling was concerned. And by leaps and bounds, Fallout 4's story plots and what goes on in that game beats what Starfield has. So then I start going through the process of like, what did they spend time with on Starfield? What challenges that they had for the map size and all these other things that were going on? Like, you look at a game differently as opposed to saying like, the game was fun. I had fun.
Right.
Like, it's not the same. It's hard. It's hard to say. Like, do I like Starfield? Yes. Do I think that Starfield is better than Fallout? And I'm going to have to say, based on what I know so far, no. But then again, you can throw up the flag and call a penalty and say, well, it's not the same game, right? Just like you can say for Suicide Squad, it's not Batman.
I look at, to answer your question,
game.
And B's question is why you defend Starfield and Suicide Squad. How does it make it feel that streamers doing what's best for income? I think integrity and morals come in a little bit as a content creator, right? Like, I get that you want to shit on something and then make income because you make more money off of shit talking something than actually just talking something about. Me personally, I'm gonna play a game that I like, and yeah, I'm not making the tens of hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars that the other content creators are making, but I want to be true to myself. And if you're coming in here and I'm talking about Starfield or am I talking about Suicide Squad, that other people are just come in and say, that fucking game sucks, you guys are whatever. Like, someone said they must be paying me a lot of money to play Suicide Squad. As a value to you, the consumer that's watching me, I want to play a game that I'm having fun with. And if you see me having fun, then you're going to ask questions. And if you're a person that hates on that game, I don't know why you would be that idiotic to watch someone unless you like me, right? If I'm playing a game and you're watching the game that you hate, then that doesn't make sense to me. But if you're watching me because you're entertained by me playing the game that you don't like, that's a completely different thing, right? So it all depends. If YouTube's going to be YouTube, people are going to do money because they make the money. I want to answer Dave's question real fast. He says, question about your Game Pass point. You don't mean the full Game Pass with all the third-party games. You just mean like Game Pass Core, where there's a handful of first-party games, right? If so, sure, I can see that. Dave, see, you're moving the goalposts now. Okay. I just said that Game Pass is going to be on the other consoles. If that's the full-fledged Game Pass or if that's the core Game Pass, it doesn't matter. All I said was that Game Pass will be on those other platforms at some point. Okay? I'll let you move the goalpost, though. I'll let you move the goalpost. If you think it's just the core and you can see that, then we agree. Okay? I think it's not going to be the third-party games. Like, for instance, let's say, obviously, it would be first-party title games for Xbox that you can only get on Xbox, but now you can get them on PlayStation as well, right? It wouldn't be a third-party game. I'm trying to think of a third-party game. Outriders. Outriders came out onto Game Pass, but that's not owned by Microsoft. That's not a first-party title. That's not. They just paid for it to come on the thing. So Game Pass Outriders wouldn't be on PlayStation. You would have to buy Outriders on PlayStation. But if it's Fable, Halo, Gears, Starfield, Sea of Thieves, Forza, any of those first-party title games, that will be on PlayStation, and that's what you can play through Game Pass. That's the way I see it. So it's not about the core. It's just about the Xbox games. Let me see. Anybody else got any questions? Let's see. What characters does Suicide Squad need to add to get Sarge to play if Sarge passed looter shooters these days? Would you play Suicide Squad at any point, Sarge? Like season 1, season 2, season 3?
My mindset right now, I don't have it in me. Like I don't have it in me to sit down and play it. Like I just don't. Yeah. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I know I don't have the patience for it currently. What it's going to take to learn that game and play it.
Jason says, I hate Suicide Squad, but I like 30, and I know he's authentic. I appreciate that, and I hope that's what comes across. Creature says, I hate SnowRunners, but I find it hilarious when you're stuck on a tree for 30 minutes. That's right. And then that's...
I can't play it.
Sarge, what would it take you? What would it take you to play SnowRunners with me on a stream?
A bottle of whiskey.
That's it?
I mean, I don't have the... I'm trying to be as honest as I can.
Yeah, that's fine. I want you to be angry when you play.
Like, I don't have... Like, listen, it's one thing to play Dark Souls and you play a battle and the battle's hard because you have to learn the mechanics. It's another thing entirely when you're driving through the mud and it just randomly decides that this time you're going to be stuck in the mud and you have to spend 30 minutes trying to get out of the mud because you decided to go too far left or right. And that's every time you leave any kind of station. It's like it does it on purpose. It's just a test. It's a test in your willpower not to throw the controller.
All right.
I don't find it enjoyable. Like, I understand being tested or challenged as part of certain video games, but for that game, everything you do, no matter what you do, all I got to do is pick up this crate and just bring it to this place like 3 miles away. And I'm in deep mud, can't move. 45 minutes of using the winch. I'm like,
so
no.
How many members do I have to have?
No.
For you to play SnowRunners? What's the goal?
Know. How many members you have now? What do we got?
I think I have 140 paid members. How many members do you want to hit a goal for you to play SnowRunners with me, Sarge?
I know the trolls who just want to see me scream would just sign up just to see it happen. I have to pick a bigger number. Like, I don't. I in my current mental
what's that number?
In my current mental state, I don't have it in me to play it.
Have you ever broke a controller from gaming rage? Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Which system? All systems.
As a kid, Paul.
I will tell you this, Paul.
He did the tomahawk into the ground.
I will tell you this. Out of all the controllers over the years, the hardest controller to break
was the NES.
Is the NES 8-bit system.
Because there was nothing in it.
Those controllers are very hard to actually break. Like, if you threw one of those, it wouldn't be a big deal. Like, but you throw an Xbox controller and it's over. You could pretty much, it's over.
Dude says, never put a gun to anyone's head for the record. What do you mean? Did I say I put a gun to someone's head? What did I say that? Did I say that? Did I say it subconsciously? I don't remember saying that. I could have popped it.
What was the other controller I that I've shattered? I shattered which controller was it?
I don't remember.
I shattered
oh no, it was the Turbo.
Oh, the Max controller.
Yeah, you destroyed the Max controller, the Max Turbo.
I destroyed the Max controller. Yeah.
Sega
Genesis.
Yeah. Akuda Papa says, when are you going to get Hell Divers, and come defend the promote democracy amongst the stars with me and others. I'm thinking about getting it. Elle offered to pay for it, but I just don't have time. My parents are in town this weekend, so I don't have time this weekend to play a lot. And I'm still enjoying Suicide Squad, so maybe in a week or two. It all depends.
I mean, I predict if I play SnowRunners with you, it's hard 5 minutes. Like everything's fine. We're going on a mission, and then I go off into the woods someplace, and I'm just kind of like,
Sarge, where are you?
Can't move.
Fuck it. This is what you would hear.
My truck that has all-wheel drive, and my truck that has all-wheel drive and has the best tires possible, and I'm stuck in 3-foot mud and I can't move anywhere. It's like, no, just fucking no.
Sarge would just be cursing on the microphone the entire time.
Which game was it where like the strange ship would come down from outer space and everybody's running to go fight the beast that comes out of it? What game was that? Did that game come out yet?
Like beast.
Yeah, like there's there was some kind of machine that would come down and alarms would go off and everybody who's inside the server would run towards that drop point. If they're fighting, everyone's fighting the same battle. It's almost kind of like what Defiance did, except it's not Helldivers, is it? Is it Helldivers?
I think you're talking about Helldivers.
Is that what you do in Helldivers?
Helldivers, you're
because I remember the advertisement of seeing it, but I don't remember what the game was called.
Go watch Jack Frag play it. Okay, go watch his video. Go watch Jack Frag play it. He has like a 28 mini video of it, and it's fun watching him and his mates play. Go watch it, and then let me know if you play it, because I think me and you would have fun inside Helldivers. It's a $40 game. They're going to add stuff more to it, but there is microtransactions in the game as far as like,
blah, blah,
I don't want to say it's like, I don't want to say it's like pay to win. Yeah, I don't want to say it's like pay to win, but it's pay to get better stats, but worse stats and other things. It's like for gear. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know much about that, so I'll keep quiet about that. But I'm interested in the game. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Stage 2. Let's see. Oh, I was talking about Suicide Squads, about putting a gun to someone's head. Why? Does something happen? I'm so lost at what you're saying, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not following. I'm not following the joke or whatever. Let's see. Dolphin after. Oh, you're saying like to force someone to play Suicide Squad? Is that what you're saying? Gotcha.
Are you still running that grenade build with Deadshot or no?
No, I have a grenade build for Harley. Yeah, it's a burn build as well, and they're nerfing it, so I got to find a different build. There's another question.
It's important to nerf the burn build. I hear that a lot now.
Did you ever break a game? I want to say
game.
Yeah, I think there was a game in Nintendo, again, cartridge. It wouldn't work because you were blowing into it, and it was like frustrating. And
no, a game I couldn't win. I threw it. Yeah, I got one. I'm trying to remember if it was.
I've never broke a game.
No, I broke a game. I think it was a rental, of course. So I just put it back in the box, let somebody else worried about it. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was either Russian Attack or Shinobi. One of those two where you like only had one life, no continues. You had to remember every move that everybody makes. And there's 10,000 bullets coming at you. I think it was Russian Attack. I think I smashed the game with Russian Attack. Yeah, I smashed it and then I put it back in the box and returned it. Yeah, and then I pulled the. It came like that. I did.
I hate the heart on the screen. The heart on the screen. What in the mobile? Like the little hearts that pop up. Is that what you're talking about?
Burnt Battletoads.
So it doesn't play Deadshot, right? Oh yeah. Did you see that? Some of these are comments from I've been posting inside my Discord for people that leave comments for me. It's pretty funny. So let me read you a couple, and then we'll head out of here. All right. So this morning, someone left me a stop complaining if you want a game to stop complaining if you want a game to go your way, create it yourself. And I said, so stop complaining about my video and go make one yourself. Right? That's a good one. Right? That's a good one. Then another person said, sorry, my bro, but you're bad at playing Deadshot. Wasting potential. His style is in the air and you're the ground most of the time. What is the point of playing Deadshot? Play as King Shark or Harley? Don't know. And I went, wait for it. Having fun. All right. All right. And then
but you're not playing the character the correct way. I get what he's saying.
How do I play a character in a solo game by myself the right way?
Well, because if you play the game long enough, I'm sure he knows that guy belongs in the air most of the time for his moves to work correctly.
Well, I'll tell you what. He probably watched the first 3 minutes of me playing and not the later in the game where I was constantly in the air shooting things. But, whatever. Right? And then the last guy said, they must be paying you a ton to be putting yourself through this game. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And I said, boatloads. I'm like Scrooge McDuck. Okay? Like people just say the stupidest freaking things.
If you dive into money, you'll break your neck, though, right?
I don't have enough money.
If
if I had
a bunch of gold coins, you try to dive into it, you just end up breaking your neck.
That would be softer than me if I just put my pile of coins on the ground and then dove at it, because I would just break my neck on the ground.
I don't want you to hurt yourself when you reach Scrooge McDuck level. I just wanted to make sure you can't swim in it. Like, that's not a real thing.
Yeah.
But I am a big proponent of the Tide Pod challenge. I believe everybody should excel in something.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'll dive into singles, 20 bills, and still get hurt. Right.
Where's the single $20 bill that you're diving into, creature? Unless it's your girl's lap, I wouldn't do it.
Here's the thing. I love how people try. Like, where did I say in my video of Suicide Squad, come watch the master play Deadshot? I just like, I'm playing a game and having a conversation.
Oh,
right?
I like the grenade build. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, the grenade build's awesome. Like, there's a lot of cool builds. Sarge, the more weapons they add into this game, right? Here's my little pitch to you. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I'm using a Bane grenade, and then all of a sudden I'm using a Two-Face Persuader, okay? And because Bane's a villain and Two-Face is a villain, they have a villain synergy, okay? So let's say Scarecrow has a weapon that comes in, and I take his weapon, it'll have a different synergy with Bane's thing, or a different synergy, and they stack, and they connect, and they do all this stuff, and then there's the tiers, and there's different... It's so interesting the way they're making the build, okay, in the game, and everyone's just like, story sucks. I watched the cutscenes. All right.
I think my OP build from back in the day from Borderlands using Maya was the infinity gun plus the bee plus the magic missile grenade. End of story. Like I had the magic missile grenade that used to fire 5 grenades. Then I had the magic bee that had like 110% fire rate. And then I had the bee on for the shield. So basically, I was just a glass cannon.
Right.
Yeah. I have such fond memories of using that gun. It just sounded like a chainsaw. It sounds like an A10 Warthog shooting its front cannon. Is what it sounded like when I used to fire the gun.
So I have a build where I can throw the grenade, and if people are burning, well, first of all, I throw the grenade, and then it breaks up into 5 grenades, like a cluster. Okay, and then if those characters are burning, they blow up. And then they drop a grenade. So then, I make them burn. I throw my grenade. It explodes up into 5. It explodes them up. It burns them. Then they explode. And then the grenade's left there. And I pick up the grenade. And then I just keep throwing grenades. It's a lot of fun.
When I watch the you play and other people play Suicide Squad, it does bring back memories of Borderlands, except that it's more elevated. Like, instead of just being on the ground running around, you have to go up on the buildings. You have to transverse a little bit more. It keeps it interesting as opposed to you just trying to hide behind something and moving back and forth. But it's the same kind of premise, though. So if it wasn't labeled Suicide Squad and it was called anything else, I would say it's a successor or a sequel to what Borderlands used to be.
Yeah, no,
because it's a better version.
I hope that season 1 comes out and they do really well with the game. I want this game to succeed because I think a lot of people are giving it a bad take, but it's really a good looter. It's really a really good looter. So a guy found puzzle pieces across the. I posted it in our Discord, but I'm gonna tell Sarge because Sarge doesn't use Discord. Besides this call, so someone that had he saw a puzzle piece in the game, okay. And then he reached, this is what I love about games like this, right? And you only get games like this for people that are really like good fans, right? So this guy finds a puzzle piece in the city. I was like, oh, what is this? So he reaches out to Reddit and says, hey, I found a puzzle piece. What does this mean? And then other people found puzzle pieces and they all put it together. And then they found it makes a poster. And the poster has like these numbers on it. Okay. And the guy on the poster is the puzzler. Okay. And then he found this other code and he's like, I don't know what this means. He went back to the Batcave inside Metropolis. And on the screen, Batman was under investigation of the puzzler. Okay. And on the screen, there's a map of Gotham. And in Gotham, every place the puzzles pieces that people found, they found the map, but they found the map afterwards. Okay, so people just found the puzzle pieces. But there's another puzzle. And now people are trying to figure out the puzzle inside the game because they think it leads up to something. And that alone, if it is true or not, I love the fact that it's in the game, right? Then there's calendars in the game with Batman's stamp on certain dates. And they're scattered all over the city. So people are trying to figure out what those are. Is
there a calendar in the game? Like a day cycle?
No. Oh, I don't. There is a day-night cycle, but I don't think there's an actual date.
But is there a date?
I don't think there's a date to see. Right? So there's a lot of cool little things that are happening.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And then if you go to Earth 2, right, Riddler is part of the Justice League because he's got his, thing inside the Hall of Justice. And in Earth 1, you see Superman as the lead character, then Wonder Woman, then Green Lantern, then Flash, then Batman. In Earth 2, Wonder Woman is the leader. Superman's second. Green Lantern is Jordan, Hal Jordan, or Hal Jordan, right? Then it's what's his name? It's a different Flash, okay? Inside Earth 2, and then there's Batman. So there's a lot of cool little things, a lot of cool little Easter eggs that are happening, and the story is actually really good. Not great, but it's good. And I'm excited. And I got this, Sarge. I'm getting back into comics because the comic leads up to... this is the prequel comic. Okay? So there's 5 comics that come out that tell the story before the incidents that happened inside the game. And I did this for Gotham. I got the Gotham...
Did you buy one to read and one to keep, or did you just get
No. I just one to buy.
By the way, I already bought you gold
Wally,
post.
thank you very much, Jason.
I already bought you gold post. They'll be in your house Tuesday.
I don't want a gold post. I told you I didn't want a gold post.
You're getting a goal post because your chat does nothing but move the goal post all the time.
Is it a big blow up? Is it a small little handheld? What is it?
I didn't look at the measurements. You're getting it on Tuesday.
For fuck's sake. All right.
You're getting it on Tuesday.
I don't want a goal post. I could have just made an emote, Sarge.
You said you were out of emotes. You said you were out of emotes. You couldn't do emotes.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Until we get to a certain level, so you're getting a goal post.
I'm gonna have this big fucking goal posted behind my thing. It better be small.
I'm sure it'll be able to use it. It'll be
no, Dave. No, Dave. It's not a goal post for you. It was earlier today.
It's all chat.
Yeah,
chat
it was
goalpost.
not for your specific thing tonight. It was for something earlier. Yeah, in a different stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for us. Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. You can join us Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can watch the past broadcasts. Don't forget to watch some of the other videos that we have here. I do uploads every single day, so make sure you check those out. Come for the gameplay. Stay for the laughs. Come for the podcast. Next week, Sarge won't be here on GXG, but Kingard will be joining me in place of him. So next week we do have a show, 383. We'll have our first guest host since like way back. The last time someone guest hosted with me was Lono. Lono guest hosted with me way back, like season 2, I think it was 2 or 3. So that'll be fun next week. And then next week also on Wednesday night, I'm interviewing Ginger Prime. We're gonna talk to him, get to know him as a gamer, get to know him as a father, get to know him as a comedian, and talk to him next week. So lots of different content on this channel. We have podcasts, live shows, uploads, and gameplay. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Game on.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming